Yo, good morning, YouTube. It's your man, AC Star. I want to welcome you to the AC Star Morning Show on this February 10th, 2021. What's good, people? What's good? It's your man, AC Star. I want to give a big shout out to y'all and everybody that showed up. Today, we're just going to have a little quiet show. It's not going to be too much. I want to talk to my man about some things that's going on in these YouTube streets when it comes to these hookups in the back, man, because, it'll be a lot of hooking up. So I want to ask a few questions of somebody that I know personally and just want to see what's going on with him. But I also want to talk about Trump's second impeachment trial, and yesterday how both sides, the Democrats, laid out their case against Donald Trump when it comes to this whole thing about the insurrection that happened on January 6th and impending impeachment trial that he's now facing. We've seen both sides present their arguments. We've seen the Democrats present a video that most will say were cringing, and it just resurfaced a lot of emotions and a lot of sadness that they felt the first time when they witnessed it live. But to see a video that was put together that actually showed the coordination and the correlation and the teamwork behind the scenes from some of the insurgents, it just kind of re-emphasized how serious it was and how coordinated the attack was, and kind of picked apart the idea that these people wasn't following Donald Trump's commands to do this unspeakable act on January 6, 2021. Also, I wanted to talk about a few things that I've seen around the internet pertaining to finances and things of that nature. I wanted to talk about, the impending bills that they got going on with the Democrats and Joe Biden, where he's trying to get the tax credit. Him and Mitt Romney are trying to work on a $3,600 to $3,000 tax credit that will be paid out in monthly stipends to mothers to kind of combat the poverty level. And you got it's very unique situation where you have a Republican such as Mitt Romney trying to work on poverty and really go about it in a way that some people will find socialist, where you're actually giving mothers a monthly stipend for each kid, right? So if you have 2 or 3 kids, they're saying they're going to cap it at $3,600 from kids from 0 month to 6 years old, and from 7 years old to, I think, from 0 to 5, and then from 6 to 17 it's going to be capped at $3,000 a year. So I mean that'll go a long way in some households to address some things. I know there is probably a loud segment of our population who probably is not too happy with that. You know what I'm saying, and will probably find some issues with something like that because it's basically what they would call free money, I guess. I don't know. So it is what it is. I guess the thing that most people are kind of looking at is the impeachment trial. And for me, the impeachment trial says a lot of things. It says that, they're trying their best to keep Donald Trump out of office. Because that, if we pay attention to what's really going on with this impeachment trial, that's what it's really about. It's not really about, it's holding him accountable for causing the insurrection, but it's mostly for trying to stop him from seeking a second term in 2024. Because when you're as popular as Donald Trump and you got 70 plus million people to vote for you, then, you can separate from the main GOP party and create like a third party effect that will be just as influential as the party that you once belonged to. So they're really trying to stop him from not only having a hold in the Republican Party, but also having a hold in starting an independent party, which will probably be the Trump party, which will be under a different banner. Peace, Dwayne. Good morning to you, my brother. That's my brother, Dwayne. Good morning to you. Please hit the like and share. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dwayne. That's basically it. They're trying to exclude him from ever running for office again. I don't know how successful they'll be because I don't see the Republicans. Excuse me. I don't see the Republicans in the Senate who have I guess the will to prosecute him, or the courage, because it's about courage at this point. It's not necessarily about will, because it's, I mean, political will is one thing, but the courage to admit that this man, you know, caused such a ruckus and caused such a I'm gonna say a governmental problem, a national problem, because now this is a national problem, and now you're starting to hear, you know, you see different television networks that lean to the far right. When you see them having interviews, they're going to like gun shows and places in rural counties and in, you know, midwestern states and northwestern states, and they're asking, in southern states, and they're asking these questions, you know, about, you know, what do they think this impeachment means to them? And a lot of them saying, oh, it's not good for the nation. I mean, but nobody is saying what he did was good for the nation. So are we to just have no consequences for what he did? So we're just to let sleeping dogs lie and make the same mistake we made during the Civil War, where we let the people who caused these insurrections and caused this counter narrative towards our government, that we just let them slide and get away with it again? So I'm not sure. I think that's what the GOP is leaning to and the Republican Party is leaning to. So, I mean, it is what it is, because you don't really hear too many conservatives talking about the impeachment or talking about the insurrection. They kind of blow it off and try to give this false narrative that is equivalent to what we've seen in the summertime when we had protests about racial injustice throughout our nation, right? Where you had stores and some government buildings with minimal damage. Nobody actually ran in there besides that police department. But I kind of think they allowed that to happen just to let the people blow off some steam, right? Like that police department was just a casualty of war, right? Just unnecessary casualty of war. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go through, D. I don't really see it going through. I don't see, like I said, I don't see the courage, because you need at least 17 senators. You need a majority, right? So if it's a 100, it's a 50-50 proposition. You need a what they call that, something majority. It's a heavy majority, right? Where you need more than just a 51-52 thing, where you need 67 to, you know, 67 actual, a super majority. You need 67 actual, you know, votes to what's his name, to convict him in a Senate trial, right? And I don't see where I don't see the votes. I don't see 17 Republican senators actually voting to convict Trump. Wow, it's an empty crowd, but peace to everybody. So if everybody can hit the like and share button, you know, we could get the crowd in, let everybody build in, you know what I'm saying? I see I'm the only one in here today, me and my man D, but I'll keep going anyway. So again, with this impeachment trial, what the Democrats did yesterday, the key to their whole case is they want to show that not only was Donald Trump's words the match, they also want to show that there was a coordinated effort by his supporters, right? That there was a coordinated effort by a white supremacist group that band together with regular citizens, and they kind of formed a coalition to do this. Like, this wasn't just no off-putting incident that just kind of casually happened after he had this speech. They're trying to connect the dots to show that there was a coordinated effort by certain individuals to run through and to run up in the Congress. Like, this wasn't just a spontaneous thing, right? Spontaneity wasn't the cause of this. There was actually coordination. There was actually people who got together to make this happen. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, they're trying to say incitement. Yeah, he did. Like, you know, you have, and it wasn't just Trump, right? It wasn't just Trump. It was other people. And D, the only reason why it may be hard to do it is because, like I said, I don't see the Republicans. I don't see 17 Republican senators, right, joining this. I'll see 2 or 3 of Mitt Romney, a Joe Manchin, a couple of other people, but I don't see 17 senators willing to put their political career on the line, unless, you know, they're not going to run anymore, or they see the writing on the wall as far as Trump taking over the Republican Party. I don't necessarily see, you know, it being a little different than what it was. Yeah, I don't see how this will go that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't see where I don't see it happen. I see that the effects in what they're doing. I see the effects of what they're doing is like, you know, gonna make a difference as far as like, you know, people understanding what Donald Trump stood for, but I don't see where this is gonna create a situation where he can't run for office again. I mean, they want it to happen, but I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see where this is happening. Yeah, right. After the fact, right? After it was done, now you come on TV. That's not what we want. We don't want violence because the job has already been done. He's already, because see, this was, I don't necessarily think thought they were going to be successful, but this is the kind of group that wants to put fear in people, right? Wants to intimidate people. Like Trump is about intimidation, right? And this was an intimidating action. Well, at least they thought it was an intimidating action. They thought that somehow this would intimidate the Congress from, you know, carrying on the people's business. But after they brought in the cleanup crew and things got settled down, they came right back in there and handled the people's business. So they may have been intimidated to the point where there was some fear and reticence based on the action that they just went through. But overall, they still went out to finish the job and do what they had to do. So on that point, their intimidation tactic didn't work. So now you have this trial, and you know what happened was they had this procedure where, you know, Trump and his team was trying to say that the trial is unconstitutional because Donald Trump is no longer our president. But what the Senate said yesterday, that that this trial is constitutional because they've proven without a shadow of a doubt that there are ways to show that Donald Trump was linked to this. Now he's going to get impeached in the Congress, but as far as him being impeached in the Senate and the sanctions taking effect to where he can't run for public office again, I don't know what that's going to happen. Because Donald Trump coming back in 2024 and giving, you know, 3 years or 4 years to build up a coalition is a dangerous proposition. Because that coalition will be filled with people who will now have military and covert ideas and ideologies about overthrowing the government to stop the diversity and stop the further progress of this nation. Because that's what's happening, right? When we look at all the conversations, it's the progress that people are trying to stop because they're not a part of the progress, or their group is not at the forefront of the progress. So when you hear people saying that black women benefit the most from a Biden administration, or the Republican Party will do more for black men, this, that, and the third, is because people are acknowledging that these groups kind of put their mission and their group in forefront of what's going on. So if you align with that thinking, like or people, like if you were a leftist or you were the far left, you would think that we need free college, you know, we're going to talk, some will talk about reparations, things of that nature. And my thing is, like, all those things can't be done at once. So what ideology or what philosophy or what restitution, right? Because these groups in the far left are seeking some form of restitution, or seeking some form of reciprocity, or seeking some form of of justice based on injurious actions that was done to their group, whether it's the LGBT group, whether it's my blacks, whether it's Asians, whether it's the Hispanic, you know, population, right? Good morning, Kelly. Peace, Kelly. Thanks for coming through. Good morning to you. Yeah, I've been rocking for about, this is my 10th episode, Kelly. So I've been rocking for about 2 or 3 weeks now. Mo came through yesterday, dropped me a Cash App and everything. Somebody blocked him on here, so I'm trying to find him so I can dig him out. But peace, thanks for coming through, Kelly. So, you know, make sure you tell all the crazy people over there at the Maurice Delp channel that AC Star, they can come over here and shoot their arrows at me, or, you know, I'll drop the link and we can have a conversation. We don't gotta shout and do all that. What's good, Big Joe? Yeah, Joe, I want you to come up, man. I'm gonna drop send me an email, man. I'm gonna drop the link, man. I want you and Dwayne and what's the Aries to come up, man, because I want to kind of have a conversation about some of this stuff that we seeing, man. You know what I'm saying? We seeing a lot of you know, a lot of backdoor love and all this and that, you know what I'm saying, and things going on that's like kind of crazy. So I'm just trying to figure out if people, if these are people's intentions, right? You know what I'm saying? If these are their intentions, like, and when they get, you know, when they get caught up in these backdoor sexual trysts, you know what I'm saying, and they got husbands and shit, like, so is this sanctioned? You know what I mean? Is all this shit we see going on is sanctioned? So if anybody got Aries 504 email, you know what I'm saying? Tell that brother to drop me an email, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to have a conversation about this, because I noticed, like, I'm going in a lot of panels, and I'm seeing a lot of, you know, well, I always seen it, so I just want to talk to some people that's intimately involved. Peace, Psycho. I want you to hit the link too, Psycho. I definitely want you to hit the link. Yeah, keep it raw. I mean, I want to have a conversation, y'all, because I'm just noticing, like, a lot of shit. So I just want to talk to people that's involved in it. And I don't want to make it gossipy. I kind of want to be enlightened about why it happens and what's the purpose of it. And, you know, are you really just trying to get some pussy? Because you notice, like, a lot of people present this package. What's up, Sweet Pea? Good morning, baby. Good morning to my lovely Sweet Pea. Good morning, baby. And it seemed like a lot of people are like, you know, they'll present themselves like this, and they talk about all the wonderful things they're doing in the community and how they think about relationships and this, that, and the third, and you finding all this backdoor shit. So I just kind of want to get a up close and personal conversation with some people that's involved in it. So yo, I'm drop the link in a few, but if anybody seen Aries, because Aries supposed to come up here and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So D, if you can hit that if you can hit the email, bro, hit that email, or if you know what I'm saying, and we'll go from there. Let me open my email up and we'll go from there, my brother. So if you want the link, just gotta send me an email and we can go with it. We can go from there and we can start getting this cracking. Because I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to have a few panels, but I don't want to have a bunch of panels, and I'm not just gonna drop the link. I'm gonna invite people that I know that can conduct themselves. Kelly, you can hit the link too, Kelly. You can definitely hit the link. So I'm gonna try to drop this link real quick. Triple OG in the building. Triple OG is in the building. Triple OG is in the building. Good morning to the Triple OG. Good morning. Triple OG, you got your wrench over here, right? Your wrench still good, right? Okay, your wrench still good. Okay, all right, everything is still good. All right, folks, so I dropped the link, man. If anybody want to click on, man, and come up. But please don't come up if you want some nonsense. Like, please, let's just try to keep it, you know, professional, keep it real, and see what's going on. Yeah, see, that's what I said, Psycho. And then, right, it's like they put it in this package that they're here, you know, to like promote all this loving black thing. Now, I'll give props, right, to the chicks who like, listen, I ain't for struggle love. I'll give props to the people that keep it real, but the ones who are like presenting themselves as like these, you know, harbingers of knowledge and information and shit like that, and they just here. What, you just here for the dick sometimes? Come on, Sweet Pea. Who flying to Africa to give you some weenie, Sweet Pea? Come on. Who is flying to Africa to give you some Sweet Pea? Oh my God. Like, oh my God. She said, I'm more here for some dick too. I don't know. See, Sweet Pea, and then motherfuckers be coming at you sideways thinking that you something else, that you ain't a man, like you ain't black and you ain't a woman. I don't know, Sweet Pea. One of these days, baby, you're going to have to click that link one of these days. One of these days, you're going to have to click that link. Yeah, please hit the like and share button. Hey, yo, man, and don't forget the Cash App is at the bottom. You know what I mean? ACBL 44. And, yo, listen, on my Streamlabs, I got a merch shop. If you look up at the top, it's that's my logo at the top. That's my AC Star Talk Morning logo. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, you could definitely come through. And, you know what I mean? Psycho, what's good, my brother?
Peace, Arthur. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, bro. Good morning to you, man. How you, bro?
Cool, and I'm just trying to get this avatar together. I had to change my avatar up.
Okay, I
had an interview to do yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm chilling, man. I don't know, Psycho, man. I'll be over on Res the Bad Guy channel, man, and you know, he has an eclectic group of people that come over. You know what I mean? He get people. He done had the Jessica X's over there. He done had the China Whites. You know. Obsidian come over there. He has white guys over there. He has the great Raj Nala Curry that come over there. My man Dwayne, that's on the screen now. And what I've noticed, right, there's a lot of friction between women that be on this panel, right? And then it's like a lot that go on that don't necessarily go on where we at. Like on RBR or your channel, we don't necessarily have the sexual shit in the back, right? Like a little bit on RBR, but it was Max who was connected, and some nigga named Sam Semantic who was connected, and they was chasing after real life, and that was before you in real life. She came on your panel and everybody was like neophytes and shit like that. But it's like when I'm over there, I just notice it's a lot of tension, right? Because they're like a lot of people that come over there are in spaces where, they do provocative things, where they, have nightgowns and the women are, at the forefront of the channels and shit like that. But I see that there be a lot of sexual shit in the background, and and then the shit be ugly, right? And then people start doxing each other and shit. So I just wanted to find out somebody from like you or somebody that been here for a long time, like what is that shit about, bro? And I'm gonna mute up.
Well, I know I don't play those type circles or whatever because I know what those circles is all about. Like most of those circles aren't here for the same reasons I'm here. They here to pretty much socialize, right? A lot of people, right? Mostly, first and foremost, let me put that out there. A lot of these people are here to socialize. These are socializing circles, right? That's why a lot of these channels are built on doing panels 24/7, right? Because it's about people coming up, chopping it up, shooting the shit, right? And just about whatever, right? Now, the issue with that is, once you start creating these little socializing circles, just like any other platform, Facebook is infamous for this, like with the little Facebook groups and all this other shit and everything else. People start talking behind the scenes, quote unquote. You start getting some backbiting going on. Everybody's not going to get along. Somebody's not going to like somebody, and then you're going to have situations where two people don't like each other, but you're cool with both. So then both sides expect you to choose a side and all this old little fuckery shit. And that's how these little fuckery lanes start getting created. The beefing sector, you right? Like the beefing sector is all about you just finding somebody to beef with, and that's just this how these people also grow their channels. They grow their channels with all this beef and stuff because it's all these beefing sector channels have the same people watching, right? They're just rotating from stream to stream to stream, looking at all the drama, and so this is how they try to swing the numbers over to their channel. It is all a competition to see, like, and I'm just talking about like the beefing sector. Like this ain't everybody, whatever lane people are in, they in, and you also got the dating stuff. Now these things. The dating sector and the beefing sector, sometimes they kind of, kind of formulate and kind of merge together. It's kind of hard to tell which one it is. Is this some beefing sector shit going on, or this some dating shit going on? Because sometimes it be, a lot of, it conflicts with each other. And the dating sector thing, that shit is huge too, because those people are just here just to fuck. I got called what it is. They hear that we're here for digging pussy, and that's just what it is. That's why it's a lot of tension between the men and the women, and then you got the tension between the women and the men, and it's all sexual tension, right? And it's
let me ask you a quick question, big bro. Is any of this associated with Tommy Sotomayor? Because I noticed, like,
well, yeah, he birthed a lot of these. He birthed a lot of this shit. Like he didn't birth the manosphere like directly, because manosphere was already a thing with the white motherfuckers back in the day and everything else, because the black manosphere broke off away from the white manosphere. Now, but Tommy was a part of the white manosphere, and he kind of created the lane for the black manosphere, because Tommy was talking about black specific things, cooning per se. Me and you would consider it cooning, and some of them might not, but you know what I mean.
Oh, so Tommy Sotomayor was a part of the manosphere at one point in time. The white manosphere.
He floated around those circles. Yeah, that's why he got a lot of his talking.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, because I know, like, I know a lot of people don't like this, but me and JB Gunner, we pretty cool, and I know JB Gunner was once cool with Tommy Sotomayor. Okay, so Tommy Sotomayor does have a history with like manosphere. Okay, I didn't know that.
He came over like he wasn't known in the manosphere. I'm saying like he floated around there, studied they talking points they was talking about. He brought it over. Kind of like what these QAnon people do. They go over to Alex Jones, hear all the information, they come over here and present it like it's their information, but they really got it from Alex Jones. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was the same type shit with Tommy. He was going over there studying their shit and everything else, and he'd come over here presenting some of their shit like it was his, and and that's kind of what kind of helped formulate the Black Manosphere, so to speak. And then you started getting small, like Obsidian. He was a part of the White Manosphere too. He was I think he was writing for them at one point in time. If I'm mistaken, I believe he was writing for them and everything. So he also spun off from the White Manosphere and everything. And so yeah. And then people just started creating the Black Manosphere, and it just started becoming a thing. And it was got the same shit. It was just same talking points, same, ain't too much difference outside. It was black men talking the same shit, but information is all the same.
Yeah. See, I wasn't aware of that history. Yo, D, what's good, D? What's good, man? Unmute yourself. Tell me how you feel about this, D, because you know me, you be in the same spaces. We be in the GMTs. We be late night, right? Because since I can't go to Moe's no more, I go over the GMTs. Like, it's a different brand of Star Wars bar, but it's still a Star Wars bar. So, Dwayne, if you can hear me, my brother, you can unmute, man. Let me know how you feel about this topic, good brother. Peace to you, by the way. D, you there? I guess D busy.
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah. Respect, brethren. Good morning to you.
Yeah, what's up? Basically, I just now I stepped away for a little while when you were asking for me. I just stepped away for a little while.
Well, yeah, So go ahead. I just want to get your take on this, because you be in the spaces with me, so you know what's really going on. I don't want to really use too many names, but you know what's going on. And if anybody, Aries, if you in the clouds, man, come on, drop down, man, holla at your boy. But yeah, go ahead, D, give me your take, bro.
Yeah, well, basically, that my brother on the other end, he hit the nail right on the head. Now he added something that I didn't know about. I didn't know Tommy was from the White Manosphere and got his talking points there, because what had happened is, just as how he said that Tommy birthed this Manosphere here, a lot of the rhetoric is mirrored from him now, regarding the black female and stuff like that now. And basically he was one of the most notorious guys for hooking up with ladies from on the internet. Now my take on all of that is this: um when we hold on to certain rhetoric, like how, okay, for example, things like Level Up and things like MGTOW and all these kind of stuff, when human interaction is at the forefront, right? When it comes down to that, they have a saying that attraction is not a choice. So sometimes those things go out the door. And and another thing I want to add to my brethren on the other end, he said that just like the platforms now, the internet platform is a thing that you could come up here for a lot of reasons, and it just so happened as it could either be a main reason or a secondary reason. And just like any other internet platform, YouTube could it could be like a lead into something like that. And you remember, and what you were saying, AC, you hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Loud and clear, bro. Loud and clear.
Right. Right. So what you were saying, remember how you said, I want to go off to your point where you said that how come on other channels, as opposed to channels like RBR channel and stuff, that why these things are going on there is that, okay, when after serious information is distilled and you come on and you get your brain food and whatnot, you go on the other in the other spots that are frequented by certain people in a certain nature that could facilitate a more social atmosphere. And that is why you tend to see that, okay, how this is not prevalent here, but in our next place it going on. I know that. And then where it could happen in the other space now is that, okay, you and somebody build up a rapport. And I'm not saying from personal, my experience is more like more dictated by other places, like other websites, that I could see a parallel will happen in YouTube now. But what happens is that YouTube have it more public than the others. So when you deal with somebody on YouTube now, it could from what I see, seeing that it have a public nature to it, like dealing with video and stuff, and it is more video based, it could become more nasty and stuff after if anything is to go awry. So I think that is where being more careful would be the better thing. And that's
Right.
all I have to say on that.
So they was amateurs and they followed King Tommy is what I'm kind of surmising. And as they watch the leader of this new space, because you know what I mean, created this new space, and now many heads became a part of the space, but they kind of used his blueprint, and everybody is not successful as it because they're not as successful as them. So if you're like a back channel dude and you ain't really got no channel and you shooting your shot, if you don't hit, the chances are you're going to be exposed for shooting your shot.
Yeah,
Can I say that's about right?
Yeah,
Psycho.
I mean,
okay,
lane,
my bad.
Yeah, my bad. No, yeah, the lane is watered down now, right? Like it was brand new 10 years. It was still brand new 10 years ago, right? So that was the time to strike if you was going to strike. But you know, Tommy came in. You know, he's a shock jock. He's typical shock jock. You know, he's going to come in. He's going to be controversial. He's going to say some wild things and being a person been around forever, and his name is known everywhere. You know, he's always going to be, you know, the pinnacle of what everybody else is trying to be, right? Like, because you know, if you're trying to achieve the same success he achieved, you're going to use him as the standard, and you're always going to chase him, right? Because like Tommy, like I said, he's a shock jock. You know, he's always going to say some real. That's why, and you know, the problem with being a shock jock is, you know, the rhetoric always has to turn up. It can't just be the same old, because after a while it's going to get stale. So you got to keep turning it up, and you got to keep pushing that. You got to keep toting that line. And Tommy done went open across that line so many times, it's ridiculous, right? Like like Jesse Lee Peterson's a big time coon, right? But Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't cross the line, right? Like he keeps it, he totes around the line, but he never crosses it, right? Like he doesn't say certain wild. He has limits to his coonery. But Tommy don't have any limits. He's liable to say anything unapologetically. That's why he ended up getting punched in the face out in New York with some of the stuff he was doing. He was crossing the line. So you know, but a lot of these people come on. They got to try to be shock jocks, and you hear them saying wild things. I hear these people on here saying all types of wild ass stuff and stuff that I know. Like a lot of this stuff is just online rhetoric. Some of it is just online rhetoric. Some of these dudes really feel that way. A lot of it is just online rhetoric, and these people just chasing the bag. So it depends on who it is you hear saying this stuff, whether or not they actually genuine in some of these wild things they actually say.
Yo, and I say this with hold on, Dave. I say this with all due respect, right? It's the shit I see on here is worse than the shit I see on the street. Like some of the shit that I see on the doxing and the and just the extreme exposing people, families and kids and shit. Like to me, that's just too far. And this, like most of this is anonymous. None of these people, you have a few people that's met up with each other, but for the most part, none of these people really live in the same community or the same distance as one another. So it's basically still a space of an anonymity, right? It's still a bunch of anonymity. You can see our faces, but we really don't know each other. And for there to be such level of anonymity and really not having true intimate relationships, I see a lot of behavior that is to the extreme, right? Like people jump on me, but my thing is I'm usually arguing with a man, right? I'm usually beefing with a man that's to say some foul shit, right? Because we just come from two different cultures, two different regional places, so his logic and mine don't align, so we just beef over that, right? It's really beef, right? But the actions that I see other people do is just literally trying to undo people's lives. Like it's the white guy jump pile video, what he did to Sansa Ray. Now I know Sansa Ray has her own issues, but I think that man went above and beyond, right?
Yeah, I ended up clapping on him for that. Yeah, that's why.
You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was building this office I'm in now, I'm arguing with him in real life when I messed up the electric over there because I couldn't believe that this white man felt so comfortable coming at me and talking about my kids and shit. I'm like, wait, man, I don't even know you. Who the fuck are you?
So motherfuckers made them feel comfortable.
Right.
And you know, real quick, you know what's crazy about what you're talking about? These people that are the most dysfunctional people on YouTube, doing all this crazy doxing stuff and wilding out and you know, just all in the middle of this beef sector stuff and doing all this craziness. These are the same people that will complain about the toxic community, black community, and everything else, and how everybody needs to lead the black community and this Blackistan, and it's all how toxic the community is, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the big booty Brendas, the Shaquitas, everything. And then they get their black asses up on here and is the most dysfunctional people on YouTube. So it's like they're projecting the entire time they talking about the dysfunction in the black community because they are talking about themselves. Because if you want to see the dysfunction in the black community, who's attributing to the dysfunction in the black community, look no further than the people that are on here complaining about the black community, because that is the dysfunction of the community.
And Psycho, what I've learned, a lot of them don't even live in the black community. A lot of these people that come on here and have this extreme beef with black people, they live in rural areas, right? They live in cities and states that don't even have black people, right? Like they'll be in North Dakota complaining about black people, or be in a whole nother country can talk about burn down a community, or live in the backwoods sticks where ain't even no lights on their street talking about burn the community. So I mean, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like what I'm learning is now this is just a place. It's just a hood, man. They just learn how to train. They learn how to be what they always wanted to be. Because you know, I got this saying, right? If a person is like, when you know, you ever heard the reverend or the person that's always like very anti-gay, like very not just, you know, not like how you know, us, where we just don't want to be persuaded by it all the time. We don't want to be beat over the head with it all the time. Not that we have a specific problem with them, but look, don't be trying to convert me, man. I'm good, right? Now, I'm talking about the ones who go out of their way to bash homosexuality. You really find out that most of them are gay. Like, but if you go to back scenes, they're gay, right? So what we're finding is a lot of people who bash the black community and bash the community, they're actually Pookie and Ray Ray's wannabes, right? And waiting, right? Like this is what they always wanted to be, right?
Pookies.
Right. So like they sat by themselves in the lunchroom. So now this YouTube thing is a new lunchroom, and they reconfigured the seating, right? So now the nerds and all the dysfunctionals and all the what I call the misfits are now running the asylum. They're having these sexual trysts and these sexual hookups, and when they go bad, they don't have the social wherewithal to deal with it. So then they seek revenge, and that's when the doxing comes in. That's when the backstabbing comes in. That's when you create the sectors to where you just beef with a motherfucker that you couldn't get no pussy from, or you couldn't get no dick from.
Look at all the dudes that probably called you simp when they first met you or they first seen you and this, that, and the third. And look at how these motherfuckers are the motherfuckers who's up here chasing all the women.
Right.
Going to all these platforms, super chatting them and everything, join their Patreons and all. But these are the same dudes that called me a simp back in the day just because I said I don't want to mess with Becky. I got called all kinds of simps just because I don't want to mess with Becky. Right. But from these same dudes that's running around here chasing everything but a Becky. Like I don't like y'all chasing all these black women. Y'all sitting up here saying I'm simping for black women. How? Like, you know, like explain. Like I'm not up here all on these women channels stalking them, trying to hitting these super chats, trying to slide in 8 DMs and all this other. That's y'all motherfuckers doing that shit.
I'm gonna tell y'all 2 names to watch out for in the come up. There's 2 new faces that I want y'all to watch out for. But I like these young ladies, right? Like, cause I'm cool with all of them. Only one I'm probably ain't cool with is the I Am Verbal and a couple other women, right? But me and Jessica, we cool. We don't have no beef. You know what I'm saying? We cool. Like I did some shit I wasn't supposed to do. I outed her on some other shit, and I apologize to her for it. You know what I'm saying? But like this chick named Melody and this chick named Cartoon K, watch out for them, because now they're being promoted as like the new cute girls, and niggas is in their inboxes. Now I don't know how it's gonna go, but like now, because what I learned is the women are cool until they turn you down. Now when they turn you down,
yep.
You know what I mean? Hold on. Let me get my man. Hold on. Give me 1 second, D. Let me just acknowledge my man Renaissance.
Yeah.
Give him a minute, and then you go, D. Dons, what's good, bro? Go
Hey,
ahead, shoot your shot, my brother.
hey, what's up? Nah, I literally just started watching probably 2 minutes ago, so I just came in the conversation. I
All
just
right,
saw
well,
you put a link in the chat, so I just wanted to come up.
let me give you a quick synopsis. We're talking about the back channel tryst, the sexual tryst, and the social awkwardness of when they fail to try to secure the girl or secure the dick or secure the pussy, and then they fail, and then we watch all this the blowback and the casualties, which their families and shit like that. So I'm just trying to have a conversation with people who are familiar with it within the space. So if you have any familiarity with seeing people try to get in relationships and then they're falling apart, go ahead and give us your take on it, bro.
Well, I haven't followed as much on the YouTube space. Obviously it happens in real life. The one thing that sort of stands out to me here is I wonder if the gender, or you all can speak on this, the back and forth and the talking about each other, black men, black women. Because someone, I can't remember whose video I was watching, they were like, other races are seeing this and like, oh wow, they go at it like this. And I just wonder if YouTube is to me, it's overblown, because the stuff I see in real life, I'm like, yeah, you have black men and black women who have issues, but it's not they ain't going to the extreme of, burn the community down, or, all men are this. I just think it's something that seems to, whenever we get on an entertainment platform, it seems to come out full force. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not. And it seems to be for entertainment.
Right. Go ahead, D. Go ahead. What was your point, D? Go ahead.
Oh, right. I have about maybe 3 points, and then I'll head out. Now, what you were saying, now based on what you were saying and the names you call it just now, not the names that you say that you said that you had something, you had issues with, but the ones who coming up, the names that are coming up, I've already had them on my radar. I think that they are next up. They are about to take the game by storm. They're about to be promoted, as you say. And just to talk to my boy Renaissance, now I'll give 2 examples, right? So when I was out in the street, it have some brothers that they kind of hood right down here, they kind of quintessential hood guys. So now to show you about mode 1, right? Mode 1 is about being direct, right? It's about telling a girl what you think and that kind of stuff. Now, before I even heard of Alan, right? These 2 guys, this is 2 separate occasions. One guy, right? Now, no pause, right? No hold, right? We call our stuff. We call it a prick, right? So this guy, right? He was telling me about getting girls, right? So he told me that just go up to the girl, right? This is before I even knew about Alan, right? So he told me just go up to this girl and say, yo, well, he was demonstrating it, right? First he demonstrated. So he's like, just go up to this girl and tell her, yo, you're making me very hard, right? So he was doing it, and so many girls were waving and giving her good vibes and stuff. So I tried it and I softened it. I didn't get through, but I didn't get turned down so bad, like they say call the police and them kind of stuff. Like that. Cause that's the whole thing. Man. That's the whole. That's the whole thing on the internet. Why did this Alan is also say, yo, if you do mode 1, you're going jail. Now I'm not saying do it because he have a special way. He sells courses on it. He will tell you exactly how to go about it, and he'll give you the nitty gritty. But that fella, what that fella told me did not get me locked up. So now this other guy, huh?
No, go my bad. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, right. This other guy, so he told me, he said, yo, go. He said, yo, he said, why you doing all of that? He said, go up to you. Not even talking about he was talking about why you making it so long. Now just go up to that guy and say, yo, let's work something. Me and you, let's work something else. So that's mode 1. So then on the internet now, I see Alan talking about mode 1. I say, yo, I said, but this exists. Like, you know, speaking so bad. I know this whole MGTOW thing. No, this is my last example. No, this whole MGTOW thing. I went in this car, me and this youth man, a fella considerably younger than me, about almost 10 years younger than I. So I was telling him about stuff like dating and that kind of stuff. So we went in a car, bro, right? And this black guy, he was a taxi driver and stuff. Yo, he was very cynical. He was very cynical about the dating game. He said, "Yo, those don't study these ladies and stuff like that, because they just out for one thing. They want your money, and I get myself out." This Indian girl, and that's it. I'm good here. I don't want nothing to do with these girls out there. And he was real cynical. He said, "Yo, look at this lady. She didn't jump in my car because she wanted to be in the front seat." And this is like a little while before I even heard about Mito and that kind of stuff. And he's a black, like, about a taxi driver, 40s to 50s. So in the internet, the street life and reality and the internet, like, the internet does overblow it, does overblow what's going on in the reality. But sometimes some of the rhetorics you hear on here could be based on personal stuff. And that is all I had to say about that.
I was gonna quickly say the thing with guys like some of these dating coaches. I feel like this stuff can eat. If you're not careful, you can end up catching charges behind some of this stuff because they're talking about was in a different era. Like you live in a different era now where you can't necessarily pull what was going. That's what happened with Bill Cosby. The stuff that he was doing in the 70s was kind of not too crazy for the times. It kind of fell in line, but you look at it now and they're like, oh wow. He was doing things horrible.
Yeah, and the thing is about dating advice and everything else. There's some advice you can give that's universal, that can apply all the way around the board. But most of the advice these dudes are giving is like more personalized things. Like I'll give you an example. Like I could teach a motherfucker how to do a 360 dunk all day long, right? But if he ain't got the hops, I'm wasting my time teaching him the proper foot and then how to do a drop step, proper bounce, and which way to turn and what to look for and how to, I'm wasting my time telling him that if he don't have the hops, right? Like if he ain't got the ability to actually get up there to actually dunk the ball, it's irrelevant. So sometimes these dudes be trying to give 360 dunk advice to people who like Muggsy Bogues. Like some of these people aren't like, they're not built like that. The approach to women a certain type of way, you need a certain type of confidence. If you don't have this confidence, you're not going to just go out there and just do what a person who got a lot of confidence can do with a girl, because you're going to sound crazy, and the girl going to realize you just, running some silly, like you
right. You shooting at your league,
right? Exactly.
Shooting at your league. Like that's what I think. I think they give niggas who wear Reebok Classics, they try to tell them how to wear Jordans, and it's like, no, fam, like they think their dating is a one size fit all thing, and it's not, right? Like, see, me, I don't believe in a game theory, right? I believe in you have a conversation with a woman, right? And if you have an authentic conversation, either she gonna buy your story or not. That's what Arthur leave it at. I think sometimes when you got all these game and all, because you got to continue to play that shit. Like if you run a game, you got to keep that shit up, and that shit could become tiresome and just, and then you lose in the end because now you're just known for running game. Now you may win, you may get some victims, especially if your game is tight. But I just think these gentlemen present all this information in a way that's confusing and a one size fit all. Like, you know what I mean? And instead of adjusting or making it suit the person's personality or suit the person's environment, things of that nature, they just say,
not built like that.
Right? They just say, this is, and I think that's why these trysts and these things in the back channels go so bad, because now you're dealing with women that may not be from where you're from, right? May be from a different economic background, and they may be slumming. So you just never know what their agenda is or where they come from. So if somebody gives you some generalized dating information, that shit may not apply to who you shoot your shot.
Region matters too, because Northeast women ain't the same as women from the South.
Like that shit, Sir Ism be talking when he be like, Jack, like a woman over here be like, man, if you don't get your corny ass out my face.
But the other thing too, I feel like, is the internet. You can create a whole persona of who you are. When you meet someone in person, you can kind of tell, okay, this is who this person is. He has a certain level of this. And I kind of feel like with the internet, some of these guys get on here and try to exaggerate who they really are in the real world. And that's why some of this goes awry as well. Because at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, Art, I think you come at it from a sense of, hey, you said I don't run game. I'm just myself. I have a conversation, but there's a certain level of success that you seem to always have, at different points in your life where it's like, okay, I can tell just from being around him that he's about something. I think with here, you got a lot of dudes who aren't about anything, who are trying to get over.
Right. See that, but when you have confidence, though, the game is to not have game and to do what Arthur was just talking about. Just be yourself and just run your mouth and just do you. And the girls are going to be attracted to that because they feel attracted to somebody who's being them. As long and they, of course, little small things here. Girls like to laugh. It's good to have a couple of jokes and everything else, whatever the case may be. Small little universal things like that apply all the way around the board. But for the most part, it's all about confidence. But everybody don't have that. So people that lack confidence, you got to work on building their confidence. You can't just give them one-liners and tell them, oh, well, just tell the girl this and this, that, and third, because it's not going to come across the same. Because they don't have that confidence to even start a regular conversation, much less try to run a game or actually try to give a lines or whatever the case may be. It's going to come across as corny. So, got to build up their confidence first. That's the first thing you got to do. Because that's what it all boils down to. It's a bunch of people just lack confidence. If you got confidence, you don't have these problems. You just don't have these problems. You don't.
And I was going to say, it depends on where your source of confidence comes from, too. Because I think, once again, confidence comes from experiences, adversity, whether, you lose the first time, you go back to the drawing board, get it right. Like, that's where your confidence is going to come from. You can't really fake or try to, short that process, which I think some of these dudes try to do.
And you know what they do, right? And then what they do is excuse me. And then, right, if they can't implement that game in them, they give them options, right? So they send them to a weaker environment where they'll be seen as a stronger thing. So they'll tell them go to South America or go to some third world country where their first world finances and their first world education will make them be a commodity in these third world places, right? So they tell them to step out of your environment and go somewhere where you're the king, right? And even that's bad, right? Because if you don't know what the other kingdom or what the other jungle really has, you're not gonna know what the value system is when it comes to dating, right? Like you may think that your money and things like that may have, value on that exchange, but it may not. A brother in the favela who boning her and who's authentic may search you when it comes to getting at women. See, for me, it's like you gotta know the woman that you coming at. You can't talk to a woman who works in corporate America the same way you talk to a hood rat. You can't have a high-minded conversation with a hood rat because that'll intimidate her. Like, she may be turned on about it, but then that'll intimidate her because then she's like, damn, I ain't as smart as him. So then you'll see that situation ain't working. And then when you talk to a corporate woman, you can't try to be as smart as her or try to dumb yourself down because she'll see that. So it's just based on your experience and who you know how to talk to. And if you know that there's a different way to approach women from different sectors, like all women ain't the same. A woman working in a hospital ain't the same as a woman working in DMV. Like, they're two different kind of women, right? So I think that's where for me, it's like they don't give them the whole gamut, right? They give them this generalized shit.
They're not honest with them, right? Man. They just point the finger at black women and like that international tricking you were just talking about. That's what it is, international tricking, because they talk all this overseas and everything else. Ain't none of them dudes going overseas finding no wives. Where are these international wives at? Where the fools at? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Where they at? I don't see them. They go over there. They find them some tricks. They hit them off, spend a couple of days. When it's cheaper, I think you buy like multiple days, kind of like a hotel. Like you get an extended stay with these tricks or whatever. They get them off cheaper, and they take pictures with them. Look who I got. Look who I was fucking with. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, how much she cost? You know what I mean? Like that. Like, I'm not impressed. You know what I mean? So like, pretty much you just international tricking instead of tricking out here. And like, I don't see the big deal in that either, because I guess, again, these are people that don't live out in the Northeast. If you live in the Northeast, you see tricks of all different,
right? See,
and all different cultures. Right. You ain't got to go overseas if you live out here. Whatever you looking for, you can find
here. If you want a bad Indian broad, you can go right here. If you want a bad Brazilian broad, you can go where Psycho live at. You want a bad Dominican broad, you can go where I live at, or you can go to like what's that outside of Hoboken. Hudson,
Union City.
Union City. You can go to Union City.
Union City.
They got some bad.
Any Latin culture you looking
right,
for.
You know what I mean? You can go to Bayonne if you want to get a bad Puerto Rican broad. If you want to get a bad Syrian broad, you can go to Patterson. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're looking for a Russian broad,
right, you look for, find them. Right, you come where I live now, you want to get a bad, thick Polish broad, you come to Trenton. You know what I'm saying? Right,
like,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like, why do I got to get a passport?
Right. I don't got to leave the country to get something international. Right? Like New Jersey is one of the most international places in the world. And I think a lot of times that's when I hear these conversations, I kind of be perplexed because it's like you guys aren't in communities where diversity is the norm, right? Like for y'all, it's either black, white, you know what I mean, Mexican, you know what I mean, a few Asians. With us, it's everybody. So you have options. So you don't got to be stuck with one race or one particular, you know what I mean, group of people. Yeah. And I think that's what happens. So when they have
run that bullshit that these women over here, those women that you're talking about, they westernized because they've been over here and everything else. But again, y'all not over there looking for wives. You're over there looking for pussy. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all not looking for wives. Right. So what difference do it make if she's westernized or not? Like, that's actually a good thing. She already know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? She know what it is. She know what you came for. She want what she want. You want what you want. It's an even trade-off. Like, so what's the problem? I don't get it. Like, what are you looking for? One minute you act like y'all looking for wives, but I don't see y'all getting wives. I don't even see y'all acting like y'all looking for wives.
I think it's power, bro. I think at the end of the day, I think when they talk about white manosphere, black manosphere, when we hear these conversations, I think it's about power. I think these black men are searching for power, and they find that when they go to places where their status may give them some level of superiority or eliteness, that gives them a sense of power. I think all this is about power, because even when they talk about the relationships and the dating, they talk about gaining the power, gaining the leverage. Everything is about gaining the leverage. It's not about equality. It's not about you and her sharing likes, or you and her sharing a shared responsibility of making it better, or making your courtship better. It's all about when you meet a woman, do your best to get the leverage, right? And if you don't get the leverage, you're a simp, you're a beta male, you're dusty, this, that, and the third, right?
Ultimately, what we dealing with is a bunch of simps who got played out by women before in the past, got screwed over. You know, a lot of them are, have ex-wives or baby mothers, or baby mama drama, and that's what they mainly cry about, and everything else, the ill fucked up shit that women did to them in the past, and everything else. Like, these are black men who was simping for coochie back in the day, got caught up in a fucked up situation, and now they on here complaining about it, but they really didn't change, because I see them reverting back to their simphood on here. I see how they treat these women on here, and they revert right back to what they comfortable with, what they always been, which is a simp. That's why I said a lot of this is projected when they start talking smack about other black men and everything else like that. All that smoke they got for Pookie and Ray Ray ain't got nothing to do with Pookie and Ray destroying the community, so to speak. It ain't got nothing to do with the drugs, the shooting. They don't care about Chicago.
They got everything.
They got everything to do.
They got everything to do with Pookie and Ray Ray. Shout out they girl womb. That's what they got to do.
That's what they got to do.
Pookie and Ray Ray. Shout out the club.
They baby mother is probably now laid up with a Pookie and a Ray Ray. They ex-wife probably done messed around and got with a Pookie and Ray Ray either before them or after them or both.
Right. So when they went to go pick up their kid on visitation day, the Pookie nigga had the Timbs on, and he was putting his t-shirt on and shit in his boxes, and his Timbs was by the door, and them niggas was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I can't believe this.
The majority of that smoke is coming from. They won't tell you this, but I promise you that's where it's coming from. I promise.
Yeah, Arthur. I want to ask you real quick. You said something that was interesting to me. You said when you were dealing with a hood chick and you were smart, that was intimidating to her. That's interesting.
Yeah, I remember. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say I figured, because like I said, my experience, I've never dealt with a woman that's hood like that. The women I've always dealt with have always been middle class, just from where I grew up, my environment. But I always figured women like that would see it as weakness more than anything. Like, it's boring and it's weak.
I'm gonna tell you the weirdness of it. When it's weak when we're back in the hood, right? But when we're not back in the hood, it's not weak. Like I went through a situation where a young lady, little hood broad, right? She was trying to get a car, right? So she was like, I need a ride to the place to look for the car. So I took her to the car dealer, you know what I mean? So we sat down with the guy, whatever. So we needed some information from her, right? So she needed to do this information on the computer. So she gets to the computer and she's having a tough time. She can't pull up anything. So I come over there and I sit down and I help her, right? And I'm like, yo, thanks for coming through. D, you welcome anytime. So I'm like, yo, let me help you. So I helped her and everything. So when we got back in the car and we was on our way back to the hood, she was like, why you act like you embarrassed me, act like I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, how did that make you seem like you didn't know what you was doing? Like you just want to take charge. You just want to take over. Okay, me sitting down and helping you learn what to do on the computer and how to retrieve your damn check stub from your job's pay site is intimidating, is showing you that you're dumb or showing that you, like, how is that? Like, how could you correlate me helping you with me embarrassing you, right? Because she didn't see it as, because niggas don't help her. So niggas leave her in the wind, right? Leave her to figure it out. So if a man come and help her, like, oh my God, you want to take charge. She wasn't used to that. So now when we get in the hood, yeah, being with me made me, oh, you would hit that nigga, that corny nigga, he's smart, blah, blah, Skippy, right? She like, yeah. But when I see her friends, right, they be like, no, she love your ass. Because that intelligence that I do bring to the table, it means something to her, but it intimidates her because she can't run game like she run on everybody else. So it intimidates them, right? Because it's like,
because of that. Yeah, I agree with that. That's where the intimidation comes from. Not the fact that you actually have some intelligence with you. They actually respect that, and that's actually, they actually deem that as leveling up. So like, no, that it ain't that. And plus, age matters too, because the older these women get, they get less out of the whole, bad guy thing or whatever that they got going on, because
real life starts to hit you too.
Right. And women, and usually it hits them earlier than men, right? Like real life usually hits them earlier than men, as far as like women usually are more forward thinking than men. Like, like I know when I was younger and I had got married early and shit, and my baby moms taught me a lot of shit because I didn't even know. I was a teenager still. She was taking care of a lot of the stuff and everything else, as far as like I didn't even know what security was when we got our first apartment. That's how much I didn't know. I ain't know nothing. I was fresh out of high school. I ain't know too much. So she took care of a lot of stuff as far as the books and everything until I learned what the hell was going on. But so they always like a lot of they forward thinking and everything else. So yeah, it depends on what age you're talking about, because women tend to start thinking about their future a little bit quicker. So they'll start looking for those smart individuals and everything that's going to pretty much be more of a security blanket.
Yeah. Because, see, me, I got a different, like, for me, I got two different perspectives on who I was, right? Like, you had a group of women who seen me. Like, I remember a girl telling me, she was telling, she got mad at me. She was like, this bitch gonna pull up to my girl. I'm gonna show you my hood, nigga. And she pulled up and she pointed to me like, there you go, right there, girl. That's my hood, nigga. And the girl she was telling that to didn't see me as that. She seen me as the nigga she come cop off of, but that she could sit in my living room and have a conversation for hours, right? So for her, that nerd part that I showed her when me and her chilling was not what her friend seen. Her friend seen some dude that just was in the block getting money, that was in the bar getting money. So she was like, girl, let me show you this nigga I got, right? So the other person like, damn, girl, like, she was mad at me, but they see me two different ways, because one was she was raised around me. She from New York, so she seen what I represented. She worked with my family and friends, but she didn't know that my college background. She didn't know any of that. She just knew me from the street. The other person knew the college background, knew all the other good shit about me. But you know what I mean? So her was like, I don't really want you on the street. Like, that shit is corny to me. Like, you need to leave that shit alone. Right? Where the other one was like, shit, stay out there so I can use you as a trophy. So it's kind of a weird thing, Renaissance. It's just based on the woman that you running into and how they consume a street nigga from a lane.
Right. Because you got a lot of chicks in the hood that don't want nothing to do with the Pookies and Ray Rays. They looking for the smart dude. Right.
I went through that too. Where I had me a broad, and I took her from a nerd, right? And I had her in the spot. Niggas, oh, she bad, right? But she knew she wasn't the only one. So with the nerd dude, she was the only one. So she was like, so what do I want? Do I want this nerd dude who I can tell to jump off my porch and he'll jump and crack his head and get back up? Or do I want this thug dude who gonna push me off the porch? You know what I'm saying? So I lost that too though. I lost that race too. So I can agree with that cycle. I lost that race. And that hurt me. I ain't gonna lie to you. That threw me. I was upset. Like her brother is to Kiva Lee, the football player that plays for Denver and shit. That's her brother, right? Yeah. And I did some fuck shit. That nigga was like, damn man, why? Because that shit hurt my ego. That shit hurt my ego. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. That shit hurt my ego to see that I snatched her, and then that nigga just snatched, and she had no problem with showing me in my face like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the nerd, dog. I'm good off you. That shit hurt my ego.
And be honest with you, most women want a smart dude with a pookie swag. That's what most black women in the hood want. They don't necessarily want a dumb dude or nothing like that. They want a smart dude, but they want them to have a pookie swag. That's pretty much what a lot of them want. They like the pookie swag. They don't like all the other stuff that might come with it. So the swag is cool, but they really do want you to have a head on your shoulders or whatever. Like that's been my experience.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get like a lot. I think a lot of these guys in this space they don't know what a true Pookie and Ray Ray is. A true Pookie and Ray Ray is a survivor. Like life ain't gonna beat him down. Like, and if it do, he's gonna turn lemons to lemonade. Like he's not gonna lay down and die. And that's what a lot of women see. That they're like, yo, he gonna keep moving. You know, that's where that term ride or die come from. Like in the hood, you get a lot of those ride or die situations, right? Where brothers used to be thugs and they met a woman and now they doing good for themselves, or they went to jail, came home, met somebody, and they doing great for themselves. So I mean, a lot of women rock with Pookie and Ray Rays because their resilience, right? Their ability to take a bad thing and turn it into a good thing, right? And just having that street smarts and that book smarts is a hell of a combination.
And protection too. A lot of them feel like, Pookie Ray Ray can protect them.
Yeah. Because that's important. That's important. A woman want to feel safe and protected. Like if she feel vulnerable and anybody can do anything to her, she ain't with that. And most lame niggas will let foul shit happen to women, right? And be like, I ain't getting in that shit, because you hear them now. Like you hear them.
The police. They don't want to call the police dude. They want a dude that's going to say, fuck that, I'm going to handle it. Fuck the police. Right. That's what women want. That's what they want. Because they like, I could be by myself and call the police. They want a person who's going to say, fuck the police, I'm going to take care of it.
Let me ask y'all, let's segue to that. Let me ask you two gentlemen this, because you guys are experienced, right, and very intelligent men. Do black men, do we protect the black family, meaning black children and black women? Do we protect them on mass?
You talking about
not individually.
Oh, okay.
But is society afraid of black men standing up for black women and children, or are they like, though they come at our women and children because we don't stand up for them?
No, they come after our women and children because they know it's not too much we can actually do on a grand scale that won't get us in knee deep of shit. That's what I think. I think they know they guys in a certain position where they can treat a certain type of way.
I'd say that on like a physical level, as far as like, not letting anything happen, I'd say yes. I think where black men collectively drop the ball is we haven't we haven't put together collectively a community that can function, because that's what a community is. It will function and it will protect its own people. One of the things that I was on another panel talking about was, black men got to get out of the mentality of not wanting to be on the police force, or not wanting to be in the military, because those when you look at white supremacists, they're infiltrating those institutions for a reason. They see them as a source of power, of being able to deal with people. And for me, I feel like that's kind of where we failed, is a sense of we don't have full control of the community to really sort of act as a force to put everyone else in check. Like other communities have, like they have, the police force, the economics with the jobs, control of the government, their churches or religious institutions, their schools. Like, they have control of those institutions. That's where I think we're dropping it.
So they have several layers of not only protection but infrastructure that can teach protection and teach how protection can come in many forms, and not just physical but also spiritual, mental, and just designing a community, building it and maintaining it. So that's what you're saying, Renaissance?
Yeah, because I know some people like I know some people in the pro-black community, they're against Christianity and this and that, but I'm like, when you look at the black church historically and how it functioned, I'm not talking about like necessarily now where you have a lot of charlatans up in there. You got people ripping people off, but you got people who are really in there back in the day, boycotting businesses because black men couldn't get jobs there, or organizing. When you had that type of function, people really boots on the ground in the community like that, it did a lot of good. And I don't see as much of that good now. It's kind of become a den of thieves in a certain extent. But yeah, multiple institutions like that you can leverage. So your HBCUs, your colleges. I'm sorry, not your colleges. Your religious institutions, your police departments. Making sure that you can essentially run these white supremacists out of the police department, run the people who are abusing the community out of the department, and actually have police do what they're supposed to do. Military, same thing there.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. What you think, Psycho?
Well, as far as the protection part of that goes, I think when we talk this protection stuff, I get a little bit perturbed because I don't think people put this stuff in proper context. It's like, not you per se. I'm just saying the conversation in general. Like, I think a lot of this thing is really nuanced, because when people talk about protection, right, like black people not protecting their own and everything else, I'm glad you had said not individually, because individually, a black man is going to protect what he owns, right? He protects his what he deems to be his possessions, right? Regardless of what it is, he's going to protect it. I don't care if it's a car, I don't care if it's your phone, your laptop, whatever. You protect your things, right? And your family is one of your most prized possessions, right? And you're going to protect that with your life, right? So black men protect their family and they protect their own, right? Now, when a lot of times when people start comparing us to other sets of people and everything else, and I see black people protect their own more than other people protect. The thing is, other people have the system behind them, right? Like, it's like when people talk about protection, they basically talking about the system, right? That's basically what they're talking about, because white people, they don't get out in droves and go out and go find the rapists in their community and go beat the hell out of them like I see people do in the black community. No, they call the police and let the police handle it. That's pretty much what they do, right? And same thing with the Asians and this, that, and third. Like, I don't see these other communities moving in droves and units trying to flush out the bad apples of their community. No, they just call the police. That's all they do. Now, black people don't mess with the police. This is all known. Black people don't mess police. We don't trust the system. A lot of people don't have any trust with the police. So that's the difference between our community and those communities. They have a system that's going to make sure certain things are in place to pretty much keep the bad apples, quote unquote, out the motherfucking loop. Where in the black community, we don't have these same things going on as far as like the system looking out for us and everything else, and then we got the whole no thing and everything, and not to mention, but we are just in a different situation than these other groups of people. The church thing, real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to touch on the church thing that you had said. You had said something about the church, and they got boots on the ground, and they got historic. Historically, they have done a lot.
Yeah, historically, not as much now. I understand the criticism now of, hey, it's kind of turned into a den of thieves.
Right. Now, historically, most pro-black organizations that aren't religious based, so I'm not going to count the Nation of Islam, something like that. That's pretty much same as church. These are all religious based organizations. Most pro-black organizations are either attached to a religion, or they even the ones that aren't attached to a religion don't get the same support, because they don't, a lot of people feel, a lot of people get turned off if your organization isn't attached to some kind of faith, right? Because we're very spiritual people collectively, and we, a lot of us need to follow something and believe in something that's attached to a faith, a spiritual faith-based system. And a pro-black organization that's secular and have absolutely no affiliation with any faith based or anything like that. It's the same support. They don't get ties like the church do. The church get ties. Some of them get ridiculous amounts of ties. I was just going over my bad real quick, a quote that this sister that I know when I was growing up back in high school that used to be a part of, I don't know if you ever heard of it, called the Worldwide Church of God. Herbert Armstrong, they practice a thing called Armstrongism or whatever. But anyways, it was an old quote from back in the day. They actually dissolved now and got a bunch of splinter groups. But they used to demand that you paid like what was it? I forgot how much it was, like 3/4 of your salary as tithes or some craziness, and like these church gets enormous amounts of money. These mosques at the Nation of Islam, they get enormous amounts of money. So pretty much anything that they do for the community already paid for. Like they paid for it already. Like they pretty much just giving back what they already took out from the community. Like these pro-black organizations, these things are ground roots. They don't get a lot of donations, so whatever little bit they do is pretty much coming out of their own pocket. The church can't say it's coming out of their own pocket. It's coming out of the people's pocket. So I just don't think that's a fair comparison when comparing the church to these pro-black organizations.
No. I was just saying, like, some of them, don't you agree, tend to be like anti-religion or anti-Christianity, and they say, it's the white man's religion, this and that, and I'm kind of like, when you look at the functioning, like I said, what it could be doing, what it's done historically, that's where I say if you could get back to that, where these tithes that you're collecting, instead of the pastor driving a Bentley or something like that, if he's starting jobs programs in the communities, if he's starting schools, he putting together money for scholarship funds for kids to go to college, or for summer programs, things like that, then I'm like, I see the value in it. But like I said, if it becomes a den of thieves, then like I say, I see the criticism. But it just seemed from what I've heard that the pro-black community is against Christianity specifically, I guess because of the historic roots of slavery.
Well, that's part. Well, for me, I can speak for me. I just my issues with it. Not this ain't the reason why I don't believe, but my issues with Christianity. Is a lot. Some of it stems. A lot of it actually stems from slavery. And how it was pretty much given to us in this country, and the effects of it. The effects of it bothers me probably more than anything, because I see the effects of what it does to people. It makes us very docile. A lot of spiritual people feel like we shouldn't fight the system. This is kind of it was all this was prophesized. We're cursed. According to Ham, we got the curse of Ham on us, and it's nothing we can do until Jesus comes and saves us. We just gotta be patient. Let
me ask y'all too something, right? Because what I noticed, I'm sorry, you finished that? I'm sorry, my bad. I finished, bro. My bad. I apologize.
No, I was just saying, I just feel like it takes away the fire that I think we need to have in order to actually make moves that we need to make. It takes away our aggression a little bit. It's used as a way to kind of pacify it. And I'm just telling you what my main issue is. I got some other side issues, but yeah, that would probably be my main.
So you wouldn't have an issue with something like if more churches were teaching like Black liberation theology, that would be a step in the right direction for you. That'd be something you could get behind.
Oh, definitely. If they took that route, yeah, I would. If it got people up their butt, yeah, whatever it takes. Yes. Absolutely.
All right, let me, because I was listening intently, and you guys brought up a lot of great points, and you brought up some infrastructure that we already have in place that we traditionally turn to when when we're addressing issues that deal with us, right? Now, from what I hear, Renaissance, you have an idea that if we use some of our tried and true institutions that's already there and kind of tweak them to have a more mainstream, a more encompassing and compelling reach, right? Outreach, right? So that when they put their fishing net out there to have a bigger fit, to get bigger fish, they got to have better worm, right? That's what you're saying. But we got to use that traditional fishing pole that's there because it's already there, right? And then Psycho was saying, well, those entities are there, but their effect is a docile effect, so that kind of neuters us from the attack in the traditional SOP that we need to have to deal with some of these issues, right? So the question that I have for both of you guys is, okay, if we look at what you guys said, right? Now we look at the church and we look at the money we look at any of these organizations and the money that they're pumping into them, right? Now, both of them to me creates a docile populace, right? Docile black populace that kind of turns to them for direction and turns to them. It's like a turn the other cheek. It's like they want to create a bunch of Martin Luther Kings in a violent environment, right? And not understand that you don't have to create a bunch of Dr. Kings, but you can create a bunch of Black Panthers, a bunch of prepared organizations that may not be violent in their rhetoric, but violent in their defense of the people. So the question I'm asking you, how can these organizations get away from the docile and the domestication that they've been charged to do, right, by their white handlers? How can they get away from that and begin to teach us about preparation and designing infrastructures that address everything that we need? Because it's a need, right? We need organizations that won't make us docile, but that'll make us not reflexive, but responsive to any act towards us, and that response will be not heavy-handed, but enough to get to hold off and to hold off motherfuckers doing fuck shit to us. So what do you guys think these organizations need to do to get away from the domestication of our populace and begin to put more of a liberating idea, right? Like they didn't like the Reverend what's the name guy, because you know that Obama's preacher, right, Reverend Wright, because he taught black liberation theology. Yeah. Right. He taught that you have to liberate yourself from certain things in order to really be free. So what do you guys think? Psycho, you go first and then you can answer Renaissance. What do you guys think these organizations need to do to get away from domestication and start just putting liberation ideology within our community so we can be better protectors of our own? I'm sorry for being long-winded, but you guys said a lot. It was just amazing what you guys said.
It's all good. Well, I hold the position that any organization that black people should get behind en masse is going to have to be a secular organization. I don't even think this is like up for debate, because if you want the numbers, right, and you really want production on a wide scale, you're going to have to keep your religion at the door. You don't have to stop believing whatever you believe. I'm not saying you have to, drop the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is that you follow or whatever. Any rituals or whatever you used to doing, that's not my position. My position is the organization itself has to be independent of all that, because again, like one of the main problems, like I was saying before, is a lot of these organizations are religious based. One of the reasons why I never joined the New Black Panther Party, which I was really close to joining. I went to a meeting before and everything, but I didn't join because I saw what it was. It was a splinter. It was just a splinter group of the Nation of Islam. This is back when Khalid was still alive and everything. But so I saw that this wasn't nothing but a splinter group of the Nation of Islam, and they pretty much need you to convert into Islam in order to be a part of this. And it's like I immediately got turned off and never joined because of it. Because I'm not interested in joining a religious organization. I don't know.
Let me ask you real quick, Psycho. Do you think that these organizations, while they're fleecing us, makes us very vulnerable, so it doesn't allow for us to have a SOP? Like, do you think that the fleecing of the flock leaves us so vulnerable that we can't create an SOP because the organizations have their own agenda? Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's my main thing I'm saying. Yes, a lot. The agenda starts not to becoming about the liberation of the people. It starts becoming more about the faith system. It starts becoming more about we need to just get right with God. Right, it starts becoming more about that and more about morality. Right, it starts becoming more about your morality and everything else. And I'm not saying morality isn't important or whatever. We all should have these basic morality, standards in innate in us, right? But ultimately, the organization shouldn't be about teaching morality. That's church. That's what church is for. The organization should be focused on actually getting concrete, tangible things done. And a lot of the organizations, it turns into morality and faith. And that's where they lose me. And it's like, because then like a Christian is never going to join the new Black Panther Party as long as it's built the way it is now, because you have to pretty much adopt Islam. So a Bible thumping Christian is not going to do that. And I'm a Muslim, a 5%er is not going to join a Christian organization, because they're going to pretty much demand that you go to church or something like that or whatever, like once a week or maybe once a month or whatever the case may be. You're going to have these little silly criteria on there, and they're not going to be with that. So whatever organization we do, first and foremost, before anything else, has to be, I believe, a secular organization, or else is doomed to be in the box, and it's never going to get so big.
Floor is yours, Renaissance.
I actually go in a little bit different of a direction than Psycho. Well, from what I see of Psycho, he seems to envision a large, centralized organization that functions. For me, I don't think it necessarily has to be a large, centralized organization. I think you can have multiple. I think you can have the church. I think you can have a secular organization. I think you can have, the Islamic religion, the Nation of Islam, all these institutions. My thing is, if they function correctly and people are involved and support them, then on the big overarching things, they can come together and work together in a bigger picture. Like, because to me, the big thing when you talk about, creating change, I look at it as more, a lot of the stuff we need to do is at the local level anyway. So if you can get these churches organizing to be like, hey, we're going to support these schools and make sure at least the school in our neighborhood has all the resources it needs. We're going to essentially adopt the school. Like I've seen one of the pastors, like out of Dallas, Tony Evans. I actually have some respect for him. He was big on like the whole adopt the school initiative and, trying to improve the public schools from that perspective. So I look at it as more as like a individualized model in that sense of smaller organizations working together. And then on the bigger things, the only thing I really think you got to come together majorly on is really on policy, or unless you're like talking about something like, hey, let's fund a collective, a black bank for businesses or something like that, or venture capital or startups. Then those organizations have to work together. But I think if you get with one centralized organization like that, I worry that nothing will get done just because you'll spend so much time trying to get people to agree. So if you get people to focus on, hey, this is my little organization over here, we focus on just this area of town, and everybody's focusing on their collective area, it'll take care of itself.
So what do you think about the fleecing of the flock part? What do you think about that? Do you think that that's an impediment, or do you see that as one? Now, I want to back up a little bit, right, about the school things, right? Like, I look at that as a two-part thing, because I look at that as also, right, where does the value of the churches come in to say, like, if you're a church in the community and you see it's a failing school, does that failing school ever register on your radar, right? In your community radar, right? When you have your community that you go out, you have your community outreach. Does these failing schools within the communities, do they ever reach the board, right? Do they ever get on the board of priorities for these churches, right? And if that's the case, why don't we see that enough? And second, do you think fleecing of the flock is real? And do you think that because these churches are kind of tied to greater white organizations or the greater banner of Christianity, that they're going to kind of be muted in their response to providing adequate, liberating ideas to the community?
Yeah, that I could argue is one of the things that actually was the downfall. Like you're seeing that right now, where the Southern Baptist, which is basically that's the white part of the Southern Baptist Association. You're seeing the Black Southern Baptists basically wanting to leave, that because they rejected the idea of critical race theory being taught. So you're starting to see that right now in the sense. I think that's what happened is in the sense they got tied up in the okay, a lot of denominations had got swooped up or joined into white controlled, at the corporate level denominations. So if you can break away from them, I think those things do become on your radar. Because I mean, I've listened to someone like Roland Martin literally say that he had a black pastor who said, I want to do something about these crack houses and tear them down in this neighborhood. And he was talking to some white evangelical pastors that they were part of the denomination, and they were like, yeah, we aren't going to come out and deal with that, but we need you to come and march for this abortion rally. So it wasn't really a two-way street. So if people start, like I see with some of them, where they're breaking away and they're starting to be more autonomous, then yeah, I think that would be a step in the right direction as far as what you can get as far as ideas. And I think it is problematic when you look at your community and you don't see these churches saying, hey, a failing school, that's problematic. If we don't want to go get on the school board and take it over, let's start our own school that's affiliated with our church, and we'll just go from that route, sort of like the same way the Nation of Islam has done. As far as like the fleecing goes, it just goes back to like, hey, you got to have people in there who are going to hold this pastor accountable of, hey, if you collect $100,000 in tithes this week, we got to make sure this goes to, if we got people whose electric bill is about to, they're behind on their electric bill and they're about to have their power cut off, we got to have a fund that takes care of that. If their kids need school supplies, we got to have a fund that takes care of that. If we got so and so who doesn't have a job, we got to make sure we have connections to go and funnel to reach out and funnel people in the congregation to jobs in the community or across the country. It's sort of like you got to make it that place. Like Dick Gregory talked about this, like when he was saying back in but prior to desegregation, he was saying the church is where he had to go. So like if he needed a place to stay, he go to church and they point him to someone. Hey, you can stay with this member for while you're in town, or if you need this, you can go do that. So kind of going back to that model, because I was going to even say you had guys who were pastors like Henry McNeil Turner who didn't advocate for he advocated for self-defense, people learning how to shoot guns, protect the community, things like that. He was a black pastor, black Christian pastor. Even Dr. King, white people have sort of whitewashed him as well. I mean, he had his whole house was armed. You can go look this up. Like one of the interviewers was sitting to talk to him one time, and he literally set on a gun that was in his house. I mean, he had armed security. He applied for a conceal and carry permit. So, I mean, I think that image has been watered down in people's minds as far as people white saying, "Oh, saying, oh, Dr. King was just nonviolent. And he said, go get people to go get killed." Nah, there are plenty of black pastors who have been more proactive in their response. Sorry for being long-winded.
Nah, you good.
You good. The Martin Luther King stuff. Yeah, like that's one of my issues with him as well. He would publicly talk this nonviolence stuff and tell everybody, we need to turn the other cheek and everything else, and tell everybody about his dream. But behind the scenes, like you said, he had guns in his house. He had armed people outside his house and this, that, and third. So, and he's actually even been quoted by, I forget who, but saying, this nonviolent stuff would get you killed. He's actually said that behind the scenes, not publicly, but he said that behind the scenes. So my issue was that's one of my issues with Martin Luther King. He was talking out both sides of his mouth, but that's a whole different story. But and the church thing, I live in an area where we got church on every block. Sometimes you got trying two on the same block.
I got four on my block, y'all. Four churches.
And I bet when you turn the corner, you see about three more.
It's two more.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
And let me tell y'all, it's six altogether. And out of the six, only two is active.
Yeah. See,
and what do you define as active?
Where they have members come in every week. Maybe I say 2.5. The little shack at the end of the block. They in and out, right? Like they in and out.
Yeah, because one of the reasons why they have all these churches, because it'll be a split in the church. It'll be a split in the church, and then pastor might do something or whatever the case may be, or might have got an argument with a deacon. Deacon decides to start his own church. He takes some of the members with him, and so they kind of they go from different churches to this, that, and the third, following certain pastors or whatever, they get reverends or whatever the case may be, and this is kind of what they do, and like and the origins of why. We all know, we should know the origins of why we historically, the Dick Gregory story you was telling me that he back in the day, people would go there, go to the church, they need a place to stay or whatever, and sleep at the church and this, that, and third. Like that all goes back to slavery as well. Because I guess in slavery, that was the only place we was allowed to meet up and have meetings. That was the only in group, whatever. In place we was even allowed to do that. Anything other than that was deemed to be, us plotting and scheming to run away or whatever, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. So, ever since slavery, we kind of, came up using the church as a place to, meet and do things and make plans or whatever the case may be. It was kind of like a sanctuary. So, this developed in slavery, right? But it's not something that's mandatory. It's just something that Black people are traditionally used to doing. So, I think that's more tradition more than anything. But yeah.
No, I just think, and I see what you're getting at. I just think that some of it's got to be religious doctrine change too, because even Dr. King spoke out against what he called, preachers who kind of taught that whole, I can't remember what I guess fire and brimstone type of gospel, worried about the afterlife and all of that.
like the scene from the 12 Commandments, right? Like that kind of
yeah, instead of having ones that are really proactive.
Yul Brenner.
Yeah. Instead of having ones that were proactive, like, hey, okay, solving social problems to improve people's lives here and now. Like, I'm speaking strictly from that, because if you just have a bunch of people who are going there and basically having this meeting, having church, and nothing's really being organized, then I see why people get frustrated and, or they go and they get the typical response from someone who's a Christian, like, okay, well, we'll just pray about it. It's like, nah, like, okay, if you're having this problem, this is what we have. This is what we have to address it. If you need counseling or something like that, we're not just going to tell people to pray about it. We're going to make sure this person actually gets some licensed help to address this issue.
Right.
Let me ask
our expertise.
Let me ask you a question then. Okay, so after hearing all that from both you gentlemen, right? So my question is, are those who say that their charge is to make sure the Black community is good, do they take their charge serious? And if they do we see the results of it? And the second question is, how do we create things that may not be linked to secular religion or may not be linked to political infrastructures, but that will still address our issues and our causes? Because as we see in other communities, right? Like for me, I just feel like we're not in good shape because so many of us take advantage of each other, right? We're not in good shape because so many people know, right, that it's like, I look at the Black community like the veteran community, right? Like the veteran community gets praised for serving the country, this, that, and the third, but everybody and their mama let us get fleeced. We have the worst medical system in the world. We have companies that take advantage of us and want to take once they see we get benefits, they want us to go buy houses that we can't afford and get loans and shit. Like the government allows for everybody to fleece veterans, including themselves. And I feel like the world is allowed to fleece Black people, including themselves. So how do we stop the fleecing, right? Because even if we look at some of our great venerable organizations like the Black Panthers, all these organizations fail because there was a modicum of fleecing going on. So if there is no economic windfall for the organizations that's charged to take care of us, would they still take care of us? And if not, what do we do? If y'all got my question.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. You go ahead, Rizzo.
No, I was gonna say, No, I do think that some of these guys who are pastors, a lot of them don't take they oath seriously in that sense. I mean, you can see it in the sense of if you truly have a calling, it's supposed to be to go serve the people. I know some people come from the mentality, like you said, Arthur, of hey, there should be some sort of economic windfall, and if they don't do it. But my whole thing is that when you truly look at this organization, what it's supposed to be doing, it's supposed to be truly serving the community. And you could say that's a failure of Black men collectively, is that sometimes sometimes some of us, when we get into a leadership position, we don't see it as a position of service. We see it as a position of come up, of hey, what can this do for me versus what do I need to do that's going to improve my community. So
yeah, and I'm trying. I think you said something about what should we do with the organization?
Like, I mean, because like what I see is like even over here, right? A lot of these guys come in and they give money to these guys, to these content creators, and they give money to certain people that they believe in, Saint Center, all these people. And what we've learning is these guys are fleecing the flock. These guys are they can't do nothing for you from Brazil. They can't do nothing for you from Uganda or Poland or right. They can't really do anything tangible for your life. So the money that you're sending in is really to prop up their lifestyle and allow them to keep coming and selling you this bag of bullshit every day. Right? So my thing is the fact that we're being fleeced from all directions, dating, education. We look at a Roland Martin who fleeced us with the fake financial thing, where it was just some Chinese dude that came up with a mid-level finance program and labeled it for Black people, right?
Oh, they're talking about Boyce Watkins.
Right, Boyce Watkins. Who I say? Roland Martin. I'm sorry, I didn't say Boyce Watkins. I'm sorry, right? So Boyce Watkins, right? So we see like or Umar, right, where people gave $750,000 for him to build a school, and he just lacks the professional ability to be a headmaster to make this come to fruition, right? So where do we pull the plug on all the fleecers and then put in the real people like you or Renaissance that will truly bring change and bring liberation to our community?
Well, I always feel like a movement should never be based on an individual. That's a problem, right? Like the message should always be bigger than any individual. That's the way I feel. This is how movements die. This is how organizations die. Once the leader, quote unquote, or the founder, whatever, passes away or fails in leadership or whatever the case may be, the organization dies. The message dies. And and just because the leader failed don't mean the message was corrupt, right? That just means the leader was, right? So I always speak about, it's always about the message. And you mentioned earlier about the organization not being political. I actually think the organization definitely needs to be political. I feel like it should be secular, but definitely political. It should be a political message and agenda attached to the organization, so people can understand what it is they actually joining and what it is they're actually pushing for. I think it should be independent of religion, but I definitely think it has to have a political base to it. That's why that's why I'm nonpartisan with my thinking, because I think we should have a think tank, people that think conservative and people that think liberal, and we all come to the table and we kind of try to meet in the middle. Try to bring some of those far left people a little bit closer to the center, and some of those far right people a little bit closer to the center as well. And let's bang some ideas together, and we should find some common ground somewhere in that middle where we can all agree upon and push.
Yo, I like that. But this is the thing, right? And then you can go Renaissance, but this is the thing when you say that, right? The only thing that I see with that is the idea of a think tank, right? And when you match up the idea with a think tank and everybody put their biases to the side and you come up with a thought process, right? This is the thing. Do we follow like the GOP's or the right wing's way? Because when they create think tanks, the Heritage Foundation, they create a lot of think tanks. The right will create a think tank in a minute. And I think they create the think tanks so that their thought can override the religious right? Because the religious right has some say in the political right, but they're not as prevalent or not as powerful.
They got Trump in office.
Right, but that's with the vote. Now, not with legislation. Now, with the vote is one thing, but with legislation, the religious right doesn't necessarily get a lot of legislation passed. But they do get a lot of their candidates in position. Now, when it comes to legislation, I think their power kind of wanes because the political right has so many think tanks and they're so influential that they kind of drown it out. So do you think think tanks would be a start, right? And kind of bring all the groups together and then go from there, and then that'll kind of, disseminate the power, or like, don't have the power so centralized in religious, but kind of have it, have it centralized and not have it like, so weak, right? So loosely defined.
Yeah, I think think tanks are. I think that's I think that's long term, like level. I think we're kind of at level 0. I think think tanks would be at like level 4, level 5. Because to me, I don't even know if we need one right now, in the sense of, like, if we pull a black person from every group, the far right, far left, the centrist, the non-sectarian, the religious, I think there are 5 to 3 issues that they can all agree on of, hey, these are things we need to focus on and get done. Whether that be, hey, major police reform, some form of reparations, and some form of redress for like discrimination as far as jobs and employment. Like with like think tanks, I think more of like you get really much down in the weeds of issues, and I think I think our problems are so numerous. I think you can get people to agree on like 3 basic ones and get some momentum going, and then get think tanks versus starting with the think tanks. Because I think if we start with them, we'll kind of get people who just get in a do loop of sort of talking about the issues, but no one really going anywhere.
When you say ground zero, you mean as like we have no leveraging, like right now we're just Barney Rubble in it, right? Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubble it, bare ass feet on the ground, on the pavement as a group.
Yeah, collectively. Like, we have things like the NAACP and other organizations, but like, I'm talking like ground zero, as far as like, if we're talking about this model of going back to black men working collectively together. That's where I see it. Because I see our organizations we have right now are very much like disconnected from people. Like, most people don't know much about the NAACP. Most people ain't involved in something like that. Black Lives Matter, people say it's very it's corporatized, it's taken over. Other things like the Urban League, other things like that, people say, oh, that's the elitist. So I'd say we're at ground zero from a collective community standpoint.
Okay. Right. Okay, I got you. We're at ground zero as far as all those organizations coming together the way, because people have such diverse opinions about them and feelings about them that it's going to be hard to kind of rally all those groups to be the beginning. So we'll just have to kind of let them be where they at and start from ground zero. Okay, so we do have to Barney Rubble it. I got you.
Yeah, just in the sense of where everyone feels like they actually have a say.
Have a say at the table, right. Where everybody come clean slate, and they letters and their acronyms of their organizations is in their briefcases, and they just come to speak about the new agenda. I got you. Now, Dwayne Darn, he asked me a question about how did I feel about Jay Morrison. Now, I know both of you guys are familiar with Jay Morrison and his Tulsa, Tulsa plan and all that, right?
Yeah, I knew about it. It was his office is based out of Atlanta.
Right. So now Dwayne asked me how I feel about him. Now, this is how I feel about him. Now, I told my guys, I remember in the barbershop. I was in the barbershop and we was talking about it, and peace, Ted, what's going on? We was talking about it in the barbershop. And, the guys were excited about it. My man, he's a truck driver. He just started driving for Coca-Cola at the time. So he was like, yeah, man, once these checks come in, I'm going to start looking for ways to invest my money. And I said, well, bro, don't mess with that shit. Like, don't get into that shit. right? He was like, why, bro? You know, man, we can't always poo-poo when black people trying to do something. I said, well, this is the thing, right? Like anytime somebody's trying to piggyback off of something, you got to be wary of it. Like if, like he used Tulsa as like as a branding name, right? Like to make it big and to think about the Black Wall Street. Like he marketed it perfectly, right? But the language after that was very ambiguous, very, you know, it was confusing. It didn't really put out a concrete idea of what he wanted to do. See, I didn't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust people like that. I don't trust a person that'll tell you that it's just that simple, or it's just because nothing's just that simple. Nothing's just that easy, right? And I told him that this is, just pay attention to it. Peace up, y'all. Just pay attention to it. Please hit the like and share when y'all come in, please. And voila, the shit failed. The shit was a hustle. The shit was a scam. Like I told my boys, right? And that's the problem. Like, it's so many black people that know that black people, we're looking for something desperate. We're looking for a messiah. We're looking for a financial windfall. We're looking for something so essential to our survival that we keep having these people pop up, right? These provocative leaders pop up, and these charismatic leaders pop up with these grand ideas. And what we find out is that they're fleecing the flock. Like, and we can go throughout our whole group, our whole race from time immemorial, where it's just been so many black people who supposedly been the arbiters of greatness, or the arbiters of us finding successes and teaching us how to find success. And we've just been fleeced. Like you look at the Yahweh Ben Yahweh and how, you know, what he did. And then his kids are now Trump supporters, right? Because they understood the charismatic leader. They understood that. So they got behind a cult. Their father was a cult leader. So they put their support behind cult leaders. And we're looking to belong to a cult. And I don't understand what this premonition and this prediction for black people wanting this Superman, this superhero, this super thing to happen, this supernova, right, to happen in order for us to be successful. And the crazy part about it is so many of us in our race that rise up to be these fake Jesuses and take advantage of us. And I want to one day have a conversation about where does that come from? Like, where does this Messiah?
It comes from the church. It comes from the church.
Does it come from? All right, let me say this, and y'all can kill me. You know, y'all can chop me up, but I think it comes from immaturity. I think it comes from us being an immature race that's never collectively grown up, because everybody looks at us. Every relationship we have with other people outside of our group is paternalistic. When you see foreigners outside of like the ones that's cool that have been raised up in the Northeast, but if you see Africans that's never been to the Northeast and never understand that black people don't tolerate that shit, right? They'll be paternalistic to us. The rise of Jessica X is paternalistic, because it's like she talks down to black people. Like, y'all need my British advice, right? Because you people are downtrodden and poor, and your behavior mechanisms and the way you act, oh my God, like you guys need a parent. I think, do y'all think I got some there with that?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, it's definitely like you were saying. I agree. You know, we have a Jesus complex, and that's not something that's just black people. It's a religious thing, right? Like, because look at the Trump supporters. Look at these QAnon people. These are all religious people. This is how they ended up in the QAnon box. This is how they ended up in that conspiratorial link. You know, they play, because look, Alex Jones talks this God stuff and everything else. You know, he talks like they all alleged Bible believers who are against, you know, pedophilic, satanic, quote unquote cabals, right? So it's all based behind religious faith, right? So like, and you see how they worship Trump. You see how they worship Trump. They got Jesus complex with Trump. You know, like he does no wrong. To this day, they will still defend him. You know, they talking about leaving the Republican Party for him. You know, like it was.
Yo, you seen that? 70%. My God damn.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait, 70% what?
70% of Republicans say that if Trump started a party, 7 out of 10 said if Trump started a party, they would join his party.
They would join the party. And they, you know, there's a funny line in Harlem Nights, you know, when Sunshine had started messing with that white dude, and that white dude left his wife and everything else, and Red Fox had asked like, well, where's Sunshine at? I ain't seen her in a minute. Red Fox had said, yeah, Sunshine, Yeah, she done got that dude to quit his job, move across town, dumped his wife, and he done went from Catholic to Christian. He's like, you know, that's some powerful pussy to make you change God. And motherfucker, and now you got these Trumpists. It must be some powerful QAnon conspiracies to make you change political parties, because that's exactly what they're doing. And you know, again, all this is based in some fake religious beliefs, right? So, but like I said, so this ain't even universal. That's how you got a lot of these black people that started following Trump. They went down these QAnon links. Like I said, a lot of this was coming from the little conscious community type crowd and everything else. Like, you know, like I mess around over there. So I seen this happening over the years, like slowly growing and growing and growing and everything, because they was getting deeper and deeper and deeper in that conspiracy link. And again, it was all based on religion. It's always based on religion and everything else. So yeah, like, so that I just, you know, just throw out there about the personality worship and all that. And then the Jay Morrison thing, real quick before I pass the mic. The Jay Morrison thing, you know, that's kind of my lane as far as like on my, you know, my separatist ideals. I feel like, you know, great migrations are needed in certain areas and everything else. I wouldn't have picked Tulsa, Oklahoma myself. I don't think that's prominent territory. You know, it's not good fertile ground. It's not good airspace. It's not, you ain't buy no water. It's just bad. It's just bad location, right? Like I wouldn't even pick that location, and I wouldn't do it the way he tried to do it. Like he did it where he was trying to sell people something. Like it shouldn't be something that you have to try to sell people. It should just be a bunch of like-minded people. I think I explained to you before. A bunch of like-minded people just making a conscious effort to go to a certain area that's already predominantly black, and just, you know, go there with an agenda to try to, you know, make that community flourish and make it enticing for black people to want to come on their own and not try to like pitch and sell it and make it a, you know, make it something like it come across as a scam, you know, right. Yeah. So these are things that's going to take decades. This ain't something that's going to happen overnight. Like the PG County was not created overnight. It was kind of, sort of, but it still took time to get, you know, to where it is today.
Gwinnett County in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Like that took time, you know what I mean? Right.
Like these are slow.
DeKalb County, you know what I'm saying?
Right. These are long-term goals. This ain't something that's overnight. Like there is no overnight quick get out of white supremacy quick scheme. There is none of that. If anybody ever tries to pitch you that, they're scamming you. They're lying. They're selling you a pipe dream. It took us centuries to get in this. It's going to take us quite some time to get out.
What I like about me is I ain't never bought into no scams, man. I ain't never, like, I remember when I lived in Florida, this wonderful couple, you know, they had their pyramid scam rocking. You know what I mean? I was working at a restaurant, was a waiter, and, you know, they like, wow, pleasant black guy. So, you know, they ran the whole spill down to me, you know what I'm saying, and brought me over to you know, their house, and, you know, ran a scam. And I'm like, do they not know that I know this is a fucking scam? Like, that's one thing I'm proud of me. Like, I've never, like, I see a scam coming a mile away and be like, I'm good, right? So when people don't have their scam radar on and they get scammed by Jay Morrison or some preacher, to me it's like, damn, like, you don't see that coming? But I guess it's that yearning to be a part of something, right? It's that yearning to be a part of something cutting edge or new, or you think you're gonna win, right? Because we're so void, right, of true heritage, right, and true culture, because slavery kind of broke that up, and that we're just searching for this. We're just searching for this thing that's gonna ground us, right? And whether it's this Messiah complex or whatever it is, we're searching for this thing to give us this competitive edge in this global market where we're competing at, and we keep buying into frauds and scams and shit, right? And my thing is, when are we gonna wake up? When are we gonna, like, I'm not saying religion per se is a scam, but religion is a domesticating entity, right? Religion is to domesticate people, is to get people to fall in line and not be them primitive selves and not run around and let their primitive nature, you know, beat everybody down, and we call that morality, right? Because when you can corral your primitive nature, that's when you have morality. That's when you have morals, right? You're like, okay, I can't do this wild, crazy shit that's in my head from my previous primitive brain, right? And we get morals to do that. So I'm not going to knock religion, but it's just the urge to want to be controlled, and the urge to control people. It's just left us in a position where we don't know what's going to get us to the promised land. Right? We had somebody tell us they seen it. He said he's seen it, but he never told us what we need to do to get there. See, nobody ever tells us what to do to get there. Right? They just tell us, buy this, buy that, buy this. They'll tell us that they'll get us there. Well, if you're going to get us there, are you there? And a lot of times they're not there. So my take on Jay Morrison is he just followed a long line of hucksters and con men, and he just took advantage of his people. And we're not in a position where we punish those people when we do that. We don't punish the Eddie Longs. We don't punish the Bishop T.D. Jakes. We don't punish the other guy for saying that his jet is old and he needs a new one, Creflo Dollar. Like, we don't, I mean, think about it. His name is Creflo Dollar, right? Like, and we're cool with that.
Yeah. No, I remember I remember when I was going to work in Atlanta. I was working there, and I had I was talking to a coworker, and he's a black guy, and he said he was going to Creflo Dollar's church, and I was like, I just kind of looked at him like, you really going to this man's churches now? Like all the scams he's been caught up in, asking for a plane, like, you know, the man's last name is Dollar, and like you don't see the problem in this, but so many of us are caught up in it. With the Jay Morrison thing, like there were people ahead of time who were calling it out, like, hey, you know, the filings, this stuff is shady. Like people who, you know, were educated in finance and would know, hey, this is how this should be structured, your paperwork. So I just feel like people didn't do their due diligence. I have nothing wrong with the idea or someone wanting to go do something like that. It just is disappointing. And like you said, Arthur, we don't really hold people accountable because that makes it harder for the next black person who comes along, wants to do something like this, and is actually legit, actually trying to do something the right way. People are going to be like, you know, I tried something like this and he let me down.
And it failed, right? Hey, y'all, I want to make a quick transition because I got my girl, Sway Celeste, up here. I don't know if y'all familiar with her. She's a young lady that be in a lot of spaces, and I kind of started off the beginning of my show because I kind of wanted to talk to her and my boy Aries, and Aries is not here. So if Psycho and Renaissance, I want to kind of transition a little bit, but you gentlemen definitely can stay because she cool. So please don't leave because she cool and she know how to have a conversation.
No, that's cool. I was just going to drop back down anyway because, like I said, I just wanted to come up and say my piece because I saw you had the link out there. But,
all right, bro. Thanks for coming up, man. You know you always welcome here, my brother. Always welcome. Thank you for coming
absolutely. Up. Look forward to doing more with you in the future, Arthur.
No doubt, bro. Tell them brothers in the Black Brain Trust I'm coming over there. I'm coming to holler at them. I'm coming.
All right, got you. Hey, peace, panel.
Hey.
Celeste, what's up, baby girl? Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you, should I say. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It's still morning over here.
Oh, that's right. It's still morning. That's right. I think you're a couple hours behind us. Well, sis, I'm going to just jump into this, right? Because we have already been talking about other topics. And I know you're smart enough to talk about the topic we just talked about. But I kind of want to take a step back because, you know, me and you've been on panels and I watch how you interact with other women and how things been going on. And a lot of people want to kind of label you like a troll and all this and that just because, you know, you young, you vibrant, and you just like to go and kick it. So, but what I wanted to come and talk to you about was the situation between you and Aries, and not in a gossip manner, but just in getting a better understanding of, you know, where does all this come from, and like all this back channel, you know, relationships and back channel things that's going on, because you're kind of cool with a few women that people are, you know, sending money to and supposedly buying lavish gifts for. So I kind of want to just get your take on what's going on, and hopefully my brother Aries will drop down out the clouds and we can kind of have a conversation, because we're all adults and I just want to better understand how these mothers and fathers and grown-ups are behaving like this with people that they really don't know. And so I just want to know if it's really about the dick and the pussy, and if it is, why people just can't be upfront and say that. So the floor is yours, baby girl.
Hey, but y'all gotta excuse my kids in the background. They just woke up. But okay, like here's the thing. Like I think that the issue is like people who aren't happy in their like regular everyday lives, or they aren't satisfied, or they're just not getting what they want out of life. They tend to make not just YouTube, but like any outside platform, they try to make it into a fantasy world where they can live to be this persona that they've always wanted to be, right? And that's what I'm starting to notice with Aries and some of the people that he associates with. And I think that they don't like when people hit them with a dose of reality. It kind of makes their whole fantasy world crumble. And the thing about me and Aries' relationship, I actually met Aries through Danini because, that's Danini's friend. And, me and Aries and Danini and Uppity, we were starting this little thing called Aries Angels where we were gonna, do videos together, like in collab and things like that. So Aries told, I knew that Aries and Uppity both talked to Danini like behind the scenes. I knew they all talked on the phone before. So I didn't see an issue since we were going to be collaborating with each other. I didn't see an issue with me giving, him a number. But then when that whole situation happened where Danini went on Regis panel and, spoke badly about me, Aries, he was trying to repair him. Well, Aries and Uppity, they were trying to repair the situation, saying, "Oh, y'all should be getting along. There's no reason for you not to be cool anymore." And I was like, "Well, she shouldn't have done that to me." And I felt like both Aries and Uppity, they wanted me to forgive and sweep it under the rug, saying, Danini's a cool person, just give her a chance, whatever, right? I tried to give it a chance, and then she messed up again. So after that second time, I was like, it's no more chances to be given. And that's when Aries started attacking me. He started saying that, you know, um, he got my number for reasons other than what he said, he did. And, and now you have also Warren going around lying and saying that Aries and Danini don't talk on the phone when Aries told me that him and Danini talk on the phone every day, which is why I didn't see him as a threat to my relationship. I didn't see him, as being threatening whatsoever. So I felt comfortable with him because we were talking about, gossip. We were literally gossiping on the phone. And it's like he never came at me in that way whatsoever. But now that me and Danini fell out, now he's basically on a smear campaign, making up all types of things about me. And I feel I understand his need to want to protect Danini because I don't believe Danini was just ever really that girl who got attention or who got chosen. Like I feel like, this is her thing. Like her YouTube persona, this is where the most people like her. This is where the most people get along with her. And I never tried to do anything to attack that because I know that some people need this. Like they need it, otherwise they would go crazy. But it's just the fact that they went on such a hard smear campaign about me. Like I don't like even now, like I get sent links where they're on panels talking about me, and I'm like, it's just I don't care at this point because I know this is what a lot of their content is based on, and this is what their YouTube personas are. But I mean, as far as the whole situation goes, I think it's weird for people who call me a little girl to be so pressed over my opinion of them, whereas people have done way worse to them, and I don't see them, I don't see them having the same energy for other people. And I don't know if it's my age. I don't know if it's because they think I'm
I
younger
mean,
than them.
it's partly your age, but it's also right, like the monikers that they use, Viper Pit, things of that nature, right? So you know that their intentions are venomous, right? So when you join spaces like that and you coordinate with people like that, you do understand who they are, right? Like you didn't go into this naive and think that these people wasn't going to someday be about fucking. You didn't think, because you don't, like, to me you don't seem very naive. Now you may you could be condescending and trolling, and I think that's just a cute persona that you put out there, what I mean, just it's a defense mechanism, and I'm cool with that. That's why I don't really take it serious. But you didn't go into these relationships or going to these collaborations not thinking that vetting these people properly and not understanding who they were and their background, right?
Yeah, well, the background that I knew about them was from, what they told me and what like some of their associates have told me. Like I thought they were just a group of people who just roast, because when I found their channels, they were just roasting people and gagging, kind of like how Kaya does, like how they do over there at the Queen's Court. Like that's what I thought they were about. I didn't know that they were about being conniving and and being, messy. I thought they were pretty much only.
So people who crack jokes and roast people are messy. Like they don't have a background of being messy. Like Akia is messy. Like she's in a messy beef with a he/she, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, right? So when you bring it this way, you don't think that. I mean, I'm sure you enjoy the banter, the back and forth, but I'm sure you just wish it would stop and not be so persistent and prevalent. But I guess for me, I'm just trying to understand how like everybody's trying to act like they're a victim here when all they do is go around beating on people, and then when the karma comes back, it's like why that happened, or you just jealous of me, or you just hating on me. Like it's always about hate. But the thing is, I don't see where hate comes in that if everybody's just trying to fuck each other and not be honest about it.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I never tried to, screw over either one of them, to be honest. But I think that it was the fact that I wouldn't bow down and accept the apology. The fact that I think that's what it really was, because Aries, he really wanted us to, get back to how we were before. And I think that's why he's so upset with me. But I wasn't about to do that, because like I feel like you can't disrespect me twice and say it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake.
So do you think Aries' response to you because you rejected him? Do you think that he's coming at you sideways because you rejected his sexual advances? Do you really believe that?
Well, no, because there were no advances. That's just the.
I know. Okay, so there was no advances. So he didn't try to push up on you.
No, but he's saying that to make me look bad. There were
no. He said no. When me, you, and him was on the panel that night, I got the impression that he was trying to fight back the idea that y'all fell out because you rejected him. That's the impression I got. Now maybe I'm reading this wrong.
No, that's what. Okay, so that's what people like Rude Imp are saying, and that's what a lot of people are saying, because he said it himself that he wanted to come after me, but when we were actually talking and cool, he never ever came at me like that.
Okay. Because see, a lot of people have a problem with you being on panels because they feel like you're young and you're a woman, so they think that you're clout chasing and you're trying to be the American version of Jessica X, because you already tugged at her cape per se, and then she tugged at yours. So people think that you have ambitions, right? And when men see that a woman has ambitions, they're trying to figure out what her ambitions is. So do you have higher aspirations to one day be a content creator or YouTube and have a space where you offer something? You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, like for me, you're just a cool young girl that just come out and hang on the block and and kick it. You know what I'm saying? And some people have a problem with that, and some of us don't. Right? So do you have ambitions to do your own channel and you know what I mean? Because you be in different spaces, Platt, you know what I mean? You be in different spots. So do you plan on having a channel one day?
I do, but I wouldn't want it to be in this particular sector, because this sector has they have a very big crab in the bucket mentality. And I think that because I honestly didn't come onto YouTube to start a channel. I came onto YouTube to be entertained, because I thought, the people on here were a lot funnier than the people on TV. And I just wanted to support the different, Black spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people have been pushing me. A lot of people have been pushing me to make a channel. And I don't really see myself doing that right now at this moment. Like, people have been really pushing me to make a channel. But the thing is, like, that's exactly what Daniti said. She said that I'm clout chasing and this and this and that. But I think that maybe it's just because I'm social. I'm just like a social butterfly, and I like talking to different people and meeting new people.
See, like, man, you right. Like, I'm like that, right? Like, I go in other spaces, and they be wanting to kick me out. Like, them niggas don't be really wanting me at Reg, but I kind of, after a while, just wore them down. They're like, all right, that AC part of the show, or when I go somewhere else. So I'm with you. Like, I don't necessarily subscribe to any particular idea or label on here. But I'm with you on the social butterfly thing, and that's how I see you, little sis. Now, my man Joe Dub, I don't know, Joe Dub, do you have any questions for little sis real quick? Because she got like 5 more minutes. Do you have any questions for her? Big bro?
No. Celeste, of course, I see her around, and it's hopefully the whole thing again works out. That's my biggest thing. I try to, at this point in my life, it's like, okay, I hope we can do this little peace thing, break some bread, everybody get along. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it will happen that way. And the best way to deal with it is basically stay your distance from each other. Because I'm still trying to figure out some of why in the world all this
right,
happened.
like that's what I think, right. But Joe Dub, remember years ago, bro, and I said this to you. Remember, you was like, Art, man, don't take this shit serious. And I was like, well, Joe, it's just I've never been around people like this. I've never been around people who are so messy and feel comfortable being so messy.
Right, and that's like I told you, because what happens is, as you keep your distance from all of this garbage, it keeps your mind at peace. It's like, I'm like the same. Like I'm like everybody else. You want some fuckery, you want some niggatry, and you can laugh at it or whatever. As brother Abiyah says, roasting and killing and whatever else. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, don't invest yourself into to this whole thing, because you see what happens. Because today you friends with this person, the next thing you said something that got them totally twisted up, and now they got an attitude with you, coming at you. Next thing they're trying to dox you or whatever, as they call it, and it's like, okay, dox me for what? Because because I said, oh, good morning to you in a way that you didn't like or something there. But
and that's what it all boils down to. The way this all started was when Danini was on Reg's channel. Somebody brought me up, and then she just went on this whole tangent about me. And when I asked her why, she said it was because she doesn't like how I'm moving.
Right. And the thing about it is, that could be the case or whatever, and it is the case, I think, in Danini's situation. But like I said, it's unfortunate that people last week you got along pretty good with each other. Everybody was happy. Everybody was doing their thing. Now all of a sudden you get to this week, and it's like, okay, now we get to crucify her, and then we get to crucify them. With the lies, rumors, innuendos. I don't know about her situation, her personal situation with the first husband and all this other craziness that.
See, I didn't like that either. Like, I didn't like that GMT did that. But this is my thing. I feel like they come at Celeste because she is a social butterfly, and she got a hell of a. Her and Jessica X, because they got a hell of a counterpunch, right? Like the shit between her and Jessica X was kind of like a tie, right? Because they had hell of a counterpunches, right? And she cammed up and Jessica did. But my thing is, I think that the black people, we need to. Good, my man Aries came through. I think that black people, we need to address this whole thing of we don't want to see other people shine.
No, it's like it's not even just that, in the sense of, the hatred runs deep in some situations. Like I said, in the case of, like I said, they're bringing up all this old nonsense with the Danini. We don't know the situation, what happened. Be honest with you, from what I'm hearing, if it was true, she wouldn't be on Facebook YouTube right now. She'd be in jail, and she's not. So the thing about it is, running all that narrative again, over and over and over again, it doesn't benefit anybody, because you think you got something on her that everybody knows already. Everybody knows that about Danini in this whole situation.
For me, it's not whether I knew it or not, right? For me, it's just I don't get why a person that doesn't have a child by you, that's not paying bills with you, that doesn't have a true intimate relationship with you, what do they get out of doing that? What do they get out of, or do they think they're exposing this person and showing the people who this person really is and what their character is? I think that person does a good job on their own. I don't think you need to bring up any new background information. I think that when you see that person in certain spaces, they'll give you that impression, right? They'll give you what you're looking for, right? Especially if they're interacting with certain people that bring that out of them. So I think when you go and you dox people and you make exposés like that, I think what you're really doing is showing that this is your only way to combat this. This is your only way to come at this, right? And you're trying to get others to feel the same way about these people as you do. And that doesn't necessarily always work, because people already probably had a premonition of who this person was, or a notion of who this person was. So to retread information is just trying to strike fire again, right?
Yeah, you're trying to basically bring a lot of drama to a situation that already the drama's been addressed numerous times.
Right.
The been talked about numerous times.
Right.
And the thing about it is, it's kind of like, okay, you're beating the dead horse here.
Right.
But see,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
exactly what Zanini and Aries did to me.
Well, Aries here. Well, Aries here.
Yeah, I mean, let the
Aries
brother
here.
speak for
Let
himself.
me rock. Let me hold on, Joe. Let me go to Aries. Good morning, big.
That's
Good
what's
morning, my brother. Are you there? You can unmute yourself. Good morning, my brother. Are you there?
Oh yeah, you know I'm here.
What's
Yeah,
up, bro?
so-
How you, bro? I've been sending out bat signals to you all morning since like 9:30 this morning. I've been sending out bat signals, but you finally got it. Good morning to you, my brother. So bro. I guess basically what I want to say is, this live is really about your situation because you my boy and Celeste is my little sister, and I really like both of y'all, and I really enjoy being around both of y'all. And it pains me a lot of times when I see y'all going through things, interacting through things. So and then it's layered, right? Like it's just not your relationship. It's things behind the scenes and it's things behind the layers. And I just kind of wanted to understand like how y'all get intertwined in these things and how we unintertwine them, right? And then everybody just live their normal life and not be bombarded by this fuckery. So the floor is yours, my brother.
The way in which you eliminate fuckery is not to mention each other. Joe, first of all, I just came to the channel maybe 5 minutes ago, so I don't know what was said before that. But I did hear Joe say, go your separate ways. I believe that was Joe that said that.
What again? I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what I said.
No, yeah, he did. No, you said like if they could just go their separate ways, like just let it fall to the side and just go their separate ways.
Yeah. That's the best way to deal with a situation. A lot of times when you have a level of conflict that okay, this is going nowhere. Lies, rumors, and innuendos are flying everywhere. But that's basically let that person be. But no, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Right. I appreciate that. You good? No, that was an excellent suggestion. But that was a suggestion that we've already tried.
True.
And Joe, you've seen it for yourself. You know who starts shit back up.
But do you feel like? Let me ask you, Rob. Let me ask you, bro. Right, Aries. Now I understand what you're saying, right? Like sometimes Celeste could counterpunch and bring it back up, just as a defense mechanism for herself. But do you think, as her being a female, a young lady, right, and she got y'all on her heels, do you think it's wrong for her to defend herself?
I think that characterization is flawed because to defend herself means that you're assuming that we attack.
So you don't think some of the things that people do and come at her, you don't think that's an attack? You wouldn't consider that? I consider some of the shit she do to you as an attack.
Right, because she's coming to me. Now, if she is being attacked by other people, what she does to defend herself from them, that's none of my business. But any comments that mention me or related to me, that's not a defense. That's an attack.
Well, actually, she didn't attack you today. Actually, she created some good clarification on what the situation was, right? She explained your history as far as you guys coming together for collaboration, and things just kind of fell apart for whatever reason, whatever, personality conflicts may have been at the forefront. But she just put clarification. So she didn't necessarily, talk bad about you. You know what I mean? In this instance, right? And my thing was, I just wanted to better understand the whole thing, right? And just kind of peel back some of the layers, because not to say that I think this relationship can be resolved or reclaimed, just to understand how it always gets to this and how we can stop it from getting to this. Because I don't necessarily think it's about bringing up people's names. I think it's about vetting and better understanding the environments and the people that we're around and the fuck shit that they may be on, right? And how they may be the catalyst, and how sometimes when we align ourselves with people, shit happens, right? Because I've been in plenty of situations where my niggas is beefing with somebody that I might be cool with, and then I end up having to beef with those people because my niggas beefing with them. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
So is that the scenario?
You think, is that the scenario right now as far as me beefing with her because
cool. Danini is your squad?
Well, No.
Okay.
I can pinpoint a certain event that I saw, a character flaw that pissed me the fuck off. And when I saw that, that's when I decided to do my actions. But Celeste knows this. And I texted her about it. And Celeste, am I wrong?
Yeah, you're actually wrong. Because like you said about the whole vetting thing, I saw you attack Big J just because him and Zanini were getting into it. So, I mean, and I didn't expect you to do that to me because I'm a woman, right? I thought that you would, not go after women just because they're getting into it. But you do attack people on Zanini's behalf.
You're wrong. Big J made a comment about
You borging, bro. You borging real bad, my brother.
I said, no, I'm sorry, Big J made a comment about me. As a matter of fact, give me 2 minutes so I can get in a better location, okay?
Go ahead, little sis. Go ahead. Speak your mind. That was a lot said, so speak your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to point out the fact that they expect people who are attacked first to so easily forgive and to just be the bigger person and sweep it under the rug. And that's not a tactic that I'm willing to fall for. Because they say, oh, well, you could just ignore them, just pay attention, block them, pretend they're not here. But when you're at that age, especially being an adult and being, I don't know, 10, 15 years my senior, I don't know exactly how old they are, that they shouldn't throw the first stone in the first place. What Danini did on Reg the Bad Guys panel that day was totally unnecessary. But because she has people like Aries in her corner coddling her and telling other people, oh, well, y'all need to be cool again, just like, no. And that's why she continues on with this behavior because nobody tells her she's wrong.
Let me ask you a quick question, right? Do you think if somebody was to characterize Danini's words on Reg panel that day as a pull-up from an OG sister to a young sister, could you ever characterize her statement as that? Would you ever see it as that, or you'll just see it as her being out of pocket because she doesn't necessarily know you and you just felt like she was out of place for doing that? Could you ever see it as a pull-up, or it was just out of pocket?
No, it definitely wasn't a pull-up. And the reason why it's not a pull-up is because her very best friend does the same things that she accused me of doing, right? She does the same things she accuses me of doing. It's only a problem with me because I guess I get a different reaction and I say things a little bit differently than she does. Like I'm very, pro, divestment and women, improving themselves. And, she's not, she's against that. So the whole me getting on panels, that wasn't the issue. It was the fact that she doesn't like the fact that people are accepting me and I don't have to talk pick me rhetoric in order for people to accept me.
And when you say accept, you mean as far as being in the space and accept you for who you are and how you speak and how you carry yourself?
Yeah, like they like a lot of guys in the space, they just accept me for who I am. Like I like to joke around, I like to have fun. Like I don't really, I even be roasting them and they roast me back. It's not like I'm and the thing is she categorized that as me seeking attention and chasing peen. And I've never ever come off like that.
Well, I mean, okay, so the fact that she associated a particular behavior module with you, and it may not be, it may not be who you really are. She just sees it as that way because it's like she sees that behavior in other people. So when she see it in you, it's a problem. Now, do you also associate it with because see, Danini is very, very open in saying that it's not really like that. I got you, Barry. You locked in.
Yeah, I'm back. So, ask your question because now I feel that after coming back, she didn't had maybe 10, 15 minutes to explain that case. So,
well, yeah, I mean, she explained the case, but I guess for her, it's just like she joined you guys team under the impression that it would be like that, and then when you seen a character flaw, she seen a character flaw, and then y'all just decided that the coalition wouldn't work, right? So when the coalition didn't work and the co-op didn't work, why did the animus still stay between you guys? Like, why is the animus still prevalent? If just because the situation didn't work, why is the animus still there? And why everybody can't be like, okay, that was somebody we wanted to work with, it didn't work, so let it go and just move on? Why does everybody always feel like when they're in each other's presence that they gotta keep taking shots based on the breakup of the co-op?
She just said it.
I must have missed it. What she said? What she said? I must have missed that.
That sweeping underneath the rug and letting bygones be your bygones.
Yeah, I understand where she come from, because a lot of times my family always put the pressure on me to kind of be the one. So I understand what she's saying, right? But I don't get where, even if you don't sweep it under the rug, where it's just this prevalent idea that every time you guys come in contact with each other, it's just got to be animus.
Because there's no maturity from one side. When you are on a panel like we are right now, the energy that the display that Celeste is showing right now isn't the same. So this ain't the same Celeste I see on Red's panel. If I were on the panel,
well, this is, and I agree with you. But you got to understand, it's a different host. It's a different person, right?
Regardless of the fact, but the hell with the host. The person.
No, that matters, Aries. That matters.
Okay,
that matters. Because if me, listen, and I'm gonna say why it matters. Because if me and you went to some suck ass panel, me and you gonna cut the fuck up, and we gonna take over the nigga panel, and you know we are.
But
I think what it is
if there's an understanding. So hold on, I gotta get this one in. If there's an understanding before this that is in place, I can go to whatever panel or whatever host. That damn agreement needs to stay. And if the agreement is just based on whatever host, whoever the host is, it ain't a fucking agreement in the first place.
I don't know if that's agreement, bro, if as much as just mutual respect, right? It's not an agreement as much as it's just mutual respect. Okay, so and like that's my little sister, so she kick it with me. You my bro, right?
Replace agreement with mutual respect. I mean, this is different phrasing. It's the same concept.
Okay, you right.
You have mutual respect on this panel, but later on we go to a different panel and the mutual respect is out the window. The respect that she's showing right now is fraudulent.
Well, here's the thing. We did go on Rudimp's panel and we decided to not talk to each other anymore.
That was how many times, Celeste?
When I went on,
Celeste,
no, let me tell him what happened, uninterrupted, okay?
No.
So we all went on Rudimp's panel, right? And we said we weren't going to talk to each other anymore. We weren't going to even acknowledge the other's existence. But when I went back on Reg, you remember I was talking to you. Now, Danini and Aries, they knew we had this agreement, but they kept asking me questions, knowing that they shouldn't have been talking to me. After that, their friend Rollo made another video about me. Even
let her get it out, Rob. Let her get it out. Aries, you can have the floor. Let her get it out, big bro.
Yeah, and then their friend Rollo made another video about me, even after we made a truce on Rudimp's panel. And see, the thing is, like, I don't really, it's like them and Warren. Warren also continued to talk about me, even though let me finish. Warren also continued to talk about me after he was there when me, Danini, and them made the truce. So it's easy to make it seem like it's only me and I'm just like this big bad bear that goes around attacking people. But if you really look at it and if you really pay attention to the timeline, it was them. It was definitely them. And then not only that, but they feel like they have to gang up on me. And I think the fact that they do gang up on me and I don't need help. I don't need a crew or a team to defend me or come roast them with me. I think that in itself also bothers them. And that's what made Aries and Danini mad in the first place, I feel, because I feel like the fact that I didn't let it go at first. This is before the truths on Rudimps. I didn't let it go at first, and I was like, I'm not accepting her apology. They wanted me to bow down and kiss the ring. I don't know if it's because she's older or because she has more YouTube clout than me, but that in itself made them upset because I refused to be disrespected.
That isn't.
Go ahead. Say what you gotta say, Aries.
Yeah, go ahead.
Phrase, kiss the ring. Nobody, if somebody, listen, kissing the ring is not even in my fucking vocabulary. If I apologize, I mean it. If I don't apologize, it's because I'm like, man, fuck you. I still got that energy for you. So, again, we had an agreement. And that wasn't the first time he tried talking us out. Nevertheless, you and your unofficial team, because the fact that you claim that you're by yourself is bullshit within itself. Because it's mighty convenient that you and your level up clique have issues with me, have issues with Danini.
And you know why? And number one, I don't have a team.
Why. So wait. So
I don't have a team. Number one, you're actually a part of the team called the Viper Pit.
You just admitted it.
No. I can tell you why. Those women who were calling you creepy because you were leaving repetitive comments on their pages, yes, that would make them have a problem with you, Aries. Don't act innocent. So you were going around on.
All right, hold on.
If you make an accusation, you better prove it, little girl.
All right, but this is the thing. I don't want to conflate outside beef, and I don't want to get it. See, this now, and I see the genesis of this. Right? It's this team thing, right? And certain words like kiss the ring, and I can understand where you're coming from, Aries, when you reject that. But if you pay it like who is gonna deny that Danini is the queen of the Viper Pit? Who's gonna deny that?
Who's gonna deny it? I mean, she probably would deny it.
Danini's gonna deny that she's the queen of the Viper Pit.
I say Bomb was, but that's
okay. So Danini is not a part of the hierarchy.
What I'm saying
is she is.
All right, let me finish, Aries. Let me finish, and then you can have it, bro. And so what I'm saying is, by her being a part of the hierarchy, and Danini does carry some weight in this space. I mean, we gotta admit it. I don't give a fuck what you say, especially in spaces like Red Space. Irregardless of why she's who she is, I'm not putting a nomenclature or identifying it. I'm just saying that the reality is she has sway in this, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? She has sway in this area, in this space. Whether it be the Black Manosphere, whether it be the Viper Pit, whether it be Red's channel, whether it be when she go other places, right? Because if she didn't, a person wouldn't come up with a whole expose about her life. Like, people are not going to come after people that they don't see have some kind of power, right? Because power brings attraction, right? And with that attraction, you got people that want to bring the power down. Now, that's the same thing with Celeste. Now, if you see a rising star, right, and you've been sitting in the Celestials for a while, and you the shining star, or you a part of the celestial stars, and then you see this upcoming rising star, and then you kind of recruit that star, and the recruiting process goes bad. Now you have what we have here, and that's what I just want people to be honest about, right?
So let me stop you right.
Y'all recruited the talent. Listen, y'all recruited the talent. The talent didn't turn out right, or the talent didn't like the team, right? So now everybody's beating down the talent, and the talent doesn't know how to just take a step back and be like, yo, listen, they just wanted you on the team and you didn't pan out, so they're kind of you know, upset. And when they hold on, bro, you can have it. And when they do certain things, it's just trying to tell you why they didn't want you on the team. So when Danini comes at you about you being in a certain space, this and that, and the third, she felt like she can give a young girl a pull up, right? And the young girl not take offense to the pull up, but sometimes, in order for you to do that, you got to know the person. Y'all got to have some relatable things in common in order to do that, for the person to understand that's where you come from. You can have the floor, my bro.
So this recruiting idea, that was me. That wasn't y'all. So I'm owning that. So we need to disband that notion, because, again, that was me. Number one. Number two, as far as the rising star concept, it's not a rising star as much as an ideology clash among women. So that's what I see.
Right. But that's what I said, right? A clash between women because you chose the star, right? You're the recruiter, right? For the team, and you seen talent.
Keep on saying it for the team. No, I mean I was just collaborating with her individually. That wasn't a.
So you wasn't going to take her back to the. You wasn't recruiting her to take her back to the Viper Squad.
Yeah, that was the association with that. That's why I had to stop you on that because.
Oh, so it was just a collaboration with you and her.
Right, because she wanted to speak about her channel and whatnot and all that stuff. So, again,
but you do get my analogy as far as you recruiting a star, right? And then even if you still brought her back to be vetted by the people that you value their opinion, right? And then they gave their opinion of the person, and it kind of went sideways.
I had to jump in because Aries, it wasn't just you and me. It was you, me, and Uppity Unicorn and Zanini. It wasn't just you and me collaborating. It was going to be all four of us.
No, it wasn't.
Aries. Okay, now, and see, here's why we can't have an honest conversation. I don't know if you couldn't have forgotten because you even started calling us Aries Angels. You even started calling us Aries Angels.
I remember that as far as you
talked about us doing content about that.
So, but Uppity, I don't remember. I genuinely, this ain't me being petty. I don't remember Uppity.
I think you remember, but you're trying to. I don't know if you're just trying to take the fall for Denny or whatever. But
why are you doing this?
That was something that we were all on board with,
bro. Okay,
that's something that you, me, Denini, and Uppity were all on board with. So this whole and if Uppity was here, I could ask her the same thing, and she would say the same answer. It was all of us, not just you and me.
Okay, I'm not even going to go back and forth with you on it because I genuinely don't remember mentioning Uppity when we were speaking about that. And the only time I mentioned Aries Angels was on Reg's chat. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, you didn't want to let shit go. And you've already admitted that, correct?
If you're talking about the first time or the second time we made a truce, because there was a first time where I told Denini that I forgive her, and that was on her channel. Okay, right. And then I started it up again.
Okay, so
and
pause.
Then the second time,
pause right there. Pause. I gotta stop you. If you violated an agreement, you have no credibility. You can't come at anybody. If you accepted an agreement, you said and you put your word on it, that shit was dropped. And you just admitted that you
I've been
was
admitting
immature.
This isn't news.
And listen,
this isn't news whatsoever.
Listen, if you was immature enough to violate, if you're not a woman of your word, that's not my fault.
Well, then you can say the same thing about Danini and Wallow and Warren because they did the same thing.
Well, let me ask a question. Did you hold on to the truce, bro? When she broke the truce, did you follow suit? Like when she shot the first shot, did you fire back?
Let me ask you this.
It's a yes or no question.
No. He asked.
Celeste, this is my brother, so I ain't. I got this. My brother, Celeste. We got mad love for each other, so we go kick it, baby.
I know. Yeah,
I'm with you, but we go kick.
Which she has to know her place. Now, when a dam is broke, water's going to pour in and out. There's no way in which you can build that wall back if water's flowing through it, right? So, I mean, the truce is broken.
I mean, but this is what I'm saying, right? Like I've been in wars, right, in the street, and there's been truces. Like I remember I was in a situation where the dudes went to my brother who wasn't in the street and asked for the truce, right? And it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, tell your brother we don't want no more beef. It's over, right? So when they said that to my brother, now if I went around a corner, that after they said that to my brother and I went around the corner and I started busting off, then, you know what I mean, I'm the one who started the shit again, right? Now, if they fire back at me, I can't cry about them firing back at me because they asked my brother to tell me let it go. And then if I go around in 15 minutes later and I fire off and then they fire back, I can't complain about them firing back. I got to be able to hold my own and say, you know what, I shouldn't have went over there in the first place and did that fuck shit. So what I'm saying to you is, like, when she broke the truce, there was nothing in you that was like, yo, I don't got, all right, you know what? This is young, this is petty. I'm going to stay away from that shit. I know what it is, and just leave it alone, because I think you're smart enough and I think you have enough maturity and wherewithal to understand that she's young, so she's full of energy and passion, and she's not going to let y'all dim her light. Right. So, and I know, and see, the thing is, a lot of the action that we see, you guys may not think that is detrimental to her. And I'm not taking up for it, because I think that she does her share of fuckery. And I think she'll readily admit that she does her share of fuckery. Right. But it's in response to a lot of fuck shit. Now, she makes excuses for some shit, but a lot of that shit is in response to fuck shit that she go through. Right. So my thing is, when it comes to something like that, if somebody's shooting a pea shooter at you, bro, and you got a howitzer, what you gonna do, bro?
Not shoot it back, but walk up and bat the shit out of her and tell her.
Joe Dub, hit me, brother. I need a voice of reason. My brother Aries is just.
Because what I'm also hearing is that because she's quote unquote young, she gets a pass to show her immaturity. Fuck no. If she is so young that she has that level of immaturity, she should not be on YouTube in the first place.
No, I'm not asking you to give her a pass. I'm asking you to yield to your maturity to ignore it. I'm definitely not asking you to give her a pass. If I ignore it,
that's a pass.
Well, no, it's not a pass. It's you're just moving beyond it. Like that's something that you resolved and you've moved beyond it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, I understand.
I think basically, like he said earlier, like Aries said earlier, they've tried that route. Obviously, it didn't work. We're back here at square one again, and when you're at an impasse like this, like I said earlier, some people go on your merry way. My name shouldn't come out your mouth. Leave me alone. I didn't do nothing to you, type of thing. And that's what's not happening, because actually what Aries said earlier, he's looking for the same energy across the board from her. Like right now is a different energy than she would have on Reg's panel, which would be a different energy that she would have on Rudim's panel. And I think that's the question at hand, he's saying.
No, I always have the same energy. The problem is, I do have the same energy.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Friday night when let me explain to you. Let me stop you on your lie.
You can
panel.
tell me.
Why the fuck were you even on Ruth's panel?
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
Why the fuck were you even commenting on Ruth's panel on some shit that happened 2 years ago? Because you step out of line and you want to be in shit. You're a messy bitch.
And here we go with the I've never insulted him.
Bro, hey Aries, I'm really trying not to do that kind of stuff over here, man. Cause
AC,
he can't help himself.
I can't help it because of the fact that I hear the blatant fucking fuckery. It is lies. Now, let me rephrase that question. Celeste, I apologize for coming at you that way. Let me clean this up.
No, you've done this plenty of times. And see, here's the thing. This is why I didn't accept Danini's apology.
But wait, that's me though.
What y'all like to do is you like to attack and you like to harass people, and then you turn around and apologize. And that's not, I don't accept that type of behavior.
I speak for myself. Don't say y'all.
No, you don't.
But bro, this is the thing, bro. This is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? Like, you had a valid question of why she was like I don't see where y'all don't understand. Like, different panels exude different energy, right? And it's not because like when me and you were on a panel, and like your educated Aries showed up. Like, you didn't come on no fuckery, you know what I'm saying? You dropped jewels, right? Now, in comparison to if we on Reg and OJ there or somebody else there, you coming with your howitzer out, right? So the energy is really based on the host, based on what's going on in the topic. I don't think that she's being disingenuous, you know what I mean, by not, coming at you guys sideways. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I think she's really just trying to really clear the air as far as people that may not know all the details, right? And see, for me, I just want better for us. And I just think a lot of times we don't allow each other to be who we are, and we have these expectations of each other, and when those expectations aren't met or rejection comes into place, we start having these conversations like this instead of just understanding that we're individuals and we're autonomous beings and we're going to live and do things, and it's just a learning experience, right? Living off experience.
Okay, you have a point. Celeste, can
I'm
you answer
listening.
this question? Why did you feel the need to chime in on Friday on Ruth's panel when no one discussed you?
Well,
And they
the
were talking
reason
about
why,
and they were talking about a subject matter that happened when you wasn't even around. There was a reason why I didn't join Danini's panel that night, because the topic that was being discussed by China White and Danini, I wasn't even on YouTube in this sector, so it didn't involve me.
well, if you pay attention to the title of that video, it did involve me and the
How?
situation that I was in, number one. And number
But how?
two, let me finish answering the question, then you can ask more questions. So,
But how?
number two, the reason why I felt like I could go on the panel and contribute to a subject that I was involved in is because you and Danini and Warren and Rollo decided to break the truce that we had on Rudemp's panel that day.
That
So
day?
you can't say that I have no right to speak upon y'all when you make whole videos and panels about me. I haven't even done that because
You
you're
don't have
not
a
that
channel.
important. You're not
No,
that
just because you don't
important
have
to
a
me for
channel,
me to
dear.
make a. But I could, and that's the thing. I absolutely could, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to join and put in their 2 cents about y'all's behavior lately.
Well, make the
But
channel.
it's not that important to me.
So
I
why
even
you up
went
here
and
talking
saw
about it?
Rollo.
Because I
You
invited her, bro. She's talking about it
And
because
what?
I invited her because I
Okay.
care about both of y'all and I
So
don't like this fuck
AC,
shit. That's why.
if it doesn't matter that much, why did she break the truce? If it didn't matter so
I
much,
didn't
why is she
break the
keeping
truth
it
the
up?
second time. The
No, the
second
first
time
time,
it
dear.
was
If it doesn't
you.
matter, if
Yeah,
it
it does
doesn't matter,
matter the
dear.
second time
So now
because
it does matter.
we discussed
Oh,
it the
girl.
second time. We said, okay, we're gonna put the past in the past,
So what
but
is the
you just
difference?
had to go and break it. So it's
But
really on y'all.
don't shift that blame over here. Again, you've already contradicted yourself enough. You said that, oh, it doesn't matter. And if it doesn't matter, you wouldn't have broke the truce. You would have let bygones be
Okay, and you
bygones.
wouldn't have broke the
So again,
truce
I'm
either,
talking,
but you
I'm
still. So
talking,
we
I'm
both broke the
talking.
truce. Don't make
But
it
I
seem
never,
like it was only me.
wait. I've never said it didn't matter. You just made that claim.
But
That's
you
true,
broke the
Celeste.
truth.
That's
You
true.
broke the
Do
truth.
it matter?
Again,
No,
only.
no. The point that hold on, Aries. The point that he's trying to make, sis, did it matter to hold on to the truce or did it not? Like, was it important to you? Did you value the truce or it was just like, whatever? If they violate that shit, I'm coming with my howitzer and I'm firing back. Or was you like, you know what? Even if they fire back, I'm gonna stand on my square. I'm not gonna reignite that. So which one was it, baby? Honestly.
Well, okay, here's what happened. When I went on Zanini's channel that
That's not
day,
she not
and
answering the
no, I'm
question.
gonna
Let it go.
answer it.
Let it go, Aries. Let it go, baby. Let it go, big bro. You're definitely gonna be
I'm
controlling
gonna
this
get that
show
answer.
one day, but not today, nigga.
Oh yeah, but I'm getting that answer.
So, when I went on Danini's channel that day and we made the truce, that was I came onto the video a little bit later. That was before I went and watched the replay and saw how Danini and Aries were basically like went through my old YouTube history and were just, making up all type of stuff about me, trying to paint this narrative about me. So that was before I knew that they were doing the most because I got sent the link like towards the middle of the video. I didn't know that they had said the things they said about me. So when I made the truce that day, it was under the impression that they really wanted to put it behind them. But the whole point of the stream was to attack me. And it had gotten so bad. Danini was so desperate to attack me that she even recruited
Don't do
Jessica
it.
X. She even recruited Jessica X to come on the panel and talk mess about me. So that's how I knew that it had gotten to a new low. If you're
Okay.
willing to recruit this woman who hates women like you, who always talks about women who share your image just to attack me over the fact that you don't like that I get on panels and I cam up, that's how I knew it was at a new low.
I got you. And I was in collaboration with Danini that day on her panel, right? I was like lockstep with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so based on that logic, I would have greeted Jessica X with open arms, correct?
No, because you and Deneen are
Wait.
two totally different individuals. Let's
So
not
wait, hold
try
on.
to.
Hold on. You just stated that I was in lockstep with Danini on
You were
that
in
Well,
same.
Aries, hold
collaboration.
on, Aries. Let's not play a game of semantics, right? Because I get what you're
She needs to
saying, right?
clarify her.
No, I get what you're saying.
Bullshit.
I get what you're saying. So I'm gonna try to clarify it and see if I'm right here. I get what you're saying, Aries. So Aries, what you're saying is, if I'm lockstep with the Nini, then if the Nini chose to go out and get a mercenary or ops to come back and do our dirty work, I'm gonna be cool with the mercenary ops, and that's not necessarily true. Right? Because you lockstep with a one individual, and if they go hire some outside muscle to get the job done, you ain't gotta like the muscle, right? Because the point ain't about liking the muscle. The point is about the muscle handling the work, right?
So what's the need
Exactly.
of pulling a person out like that when we did? We do enough by ourselves. I don't need to hire no damn mercenary.
Well, I mean, because
But
you
Deneen
didn't, but that's what I'm saying. You didn't do it, right? Because you know that you don't need no muscle, right? You didn't do
So
it.
wait, are we saying that the Nini needed the mercenary?
No, she didn't need the muscle either. She just knew that the
playing games right now.
Hold on. Listen, I understand where you're going with it. I understand where you're going with it, but I'm gonna work with him on this, Celeste. This is the thing. We're not saying that the needed muscle either. I'm gonna break this all the way down, right? And then because I gotta go in a minute, man. I gotta get ready for the snow tomorrow. But I really appreciate all y'all coming through, because y'all know, you two guys, I got love for y'all. Y'all know that, right? So this is the thing. What I see here, and what I'm gonna say to you, Celeste, and what I'm gonna say to you, Aries, is this, right? Celeste, you got to look at yourself as a athlete, right? As a recruiting athlete. Motherfuckers recruited you to be a part of a team, right? Because they thought you would fit the team. When they realized that you didn't fit the team, and you realized the team wasn't a good fit for you, y'all walked away from each other. But it was an ugly breakup, right? And then when people said, well, listen, won't y'all make us a truce? Just because y'all ain't on the same team, y'all don't need to fucking argue every time. Y'all don't need to do a fucking Cardi B and Meek Mill every time y'all see each other in the mall and start throwing shit at each other and fucking fighting and shit, right? That's what people trying to say to y'all. And what I'm trying to explain to you is, they gotta soil your name because they recruited you to be on their team and you not on their team. So if you go play with another team, then you might know some of the secrets. So they gotta fucking take some of the air out your balloon in order for you not to be a star like you was when they came to recruit you. They may disagree with me, but that's the truth. That's the truth. So what you gotta do is, you gotta understand that every time you see them, like I told you that before, you ain't gotta fight every battle, baby girl, because you're gonna run out of bullets. You ain't gotta fight every battle. And Aries, please, my brother, just recruit better.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Just recruit better.
On this side, the reason why I'm so passionate is because this was my fault. But secondly, I still haven't got my answer. Explain.
I think she gave it to you. She said that you guys feel like it's okay to jump on her every time she's somewhere. So she's saying, I believed in the truce until y'all showed me there wasn't no truce. So now every time I see y'all, I'm gonna either have my knife or my gun ready.
That wasn't the question. The question was, and again, you got to go back to that one question. That's the reason why when she started running that shit, I was like, she deflecting. Again, if it doesn't matter now, why the fuck did it matter then?
If what doesn't matter?
You said that, it doesn't matter. But
what doesn't matter?
You said that this stuff about, us, we don't matter. This doesn't matter. But yet, you put a whole lot of energy into some shit that didn't matter.
I'm not putting. I mean, it may be a lot of energy to you, but it's not
the truce because and that required energy. Time. Again,
I broke it the first time, and I told you why I broke it. I sat up here and told you exactly why I broke it the first time. Were you not listening?
Why the fuck would you make it a truce and you didn't realize what was going on? Because because listen, wait.
When you knew what was going on.
I will answer the question, Aries. Why did y'all break the truce if you knew what was going on, bro?
What you mean?
You don't think you broke the truce? You don't think your side broke the truce first, or you think she broke the truce first?
No.
So you think she broke the
that we
truce
made,
first?
the truth that we made on Rudim's panel,
No,
everybody
that was the
was
second
fully
time.
informed of what was
Yeah.
going on.
Okay.
Everybody knew the backstory to everything. Everybody
Not
knew
everything.
how
But keep
the
on.
other person felt. But your side chose to break the truce, and you defended them on that. You didn't tell them, "Hey, you were
when
wrong.
was the
You're wrong
second
for
time?
that." You know, we
When was
made
the
a
second
truce.
time?
No, listen, Aries. This
When
is
was
why
the
you
second
can't
time?
understand, because you don't listen. We
Oh, I
made
listened
the
a lot.
truce on Rudim's panel, fully
Uh-huh.
informed. And yeah, you can interrupt and say,
With,
"Nah, but that
with
doesn't
verbal,
Let her rock out,
verbal,
Aries, please,
verbal
bro.
down.
Please let her rock out, big bro, please.
Please
Alright, go
control
ahead.
your emotions and let me finish talking, Aries."
Okay.
There you go with them damn cheap shots. There you go, cheap shot Jones.
On
Because
Fantasio. Go ahead,
we
Fantasio.
There
made
you
the
go, cheap
truth
shot Jones.
fully informed in front of, and here's the thing, the truth on Rudim's panel was, in my eyes, it was more solid because I knew
course it would be.
everything that, listen, it was more solid because we weren't on either one of our channels. We were on a third party's channel, number
A
one.
third party.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though y'all had all y'all crew in the chat attacking me like y'all usually do. And we came to the decision that we were
And
going to ignore each other. But you
right.
tried to bait me into
Victim.
an argument
How?
when we were on Reg the Bad Guys panel. You kept asking me questions, knowing
What
that
question
you
did I
and
ask?
Zanini, listen, Aries. You and Zanini were asking me questions, knowing good well y'all had no business talking to me. Number two, you had Rollo make another video about me, even though he said that, he was in on the truth as well. And then you had Warren bringing me up into the mess of Nini's and Uppity Unicorns falling out. It had nothing to do with me, but you wanted to drag me into it. Well, Warren wanted to drag me into it because y'all don't like me. So you have to look at your actions and your pattern of behavior. Now you can go now.
Anybody still there?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was just like,
So, if you're on a panel and I ask an honest question, first of all, the truth that, is so official on Rouge's channel, even though I have issues about that too. That truth was to not go back and forth as far as negative rhetoric.
No,
Correct?
Aries, you can't change it now. If we
I'll
go
be
back,
back.
if
Give
we
me
were
10
to
minutes.
pull up Rudim's video, the
Thank
Yeah, I
truth
got.
is that you weren't supposed to talk to me at all.
Wait, hold on. Now you gotta let her on. Come on, big dog.
She dropped herself off, bro. I didn't do that.
I'm
She
about to
dropped
say.
herself off. I put the link in the chat for her. I invited her up.
Okay, but just want
She
to
said,
appreciate that.
I think she said give her 10 minutes or something.
Okay,
okay.
so
Well, Rollo's out there too.
but no, that panel. First of all, the truth was to not go back and forth. Correct.
The truth was to not talk to me, to ignore me, and I was going to ignore y'all, but y'all just couldn't do that. You couldn't help yourselves.
Wait,
I can go back and find the audio of where we all said we're not going to talk to each other.
Okay, so if that's the case, if we're on a panel and you click on,
that doesn't change, Aries. See,
no,
I know what picture you're trying to paint.
Listen to me.
But we went on that
You're cutting
panel
me off.
knowing we
You're
weren't
cutting me
supposed
off.
to talk to each other.
Mute yourself and control your emotions, okay? Now, the smart person, the mature person would say, okay, based on your logic and your interpretation of this quote unquote official truth, if people are on the panel, don't pop up there. That's number one.
I don't know, Aries. That's a little. That's a little. I mean, because that. All right, Aries. Listen, bro. Listen. That go the same thing for y'all. So if she's on Reg panel and y'all not there and y'all pop up, like, would you take that same prescription you gave her for yourself?
Based on her logic, I would not even pop and click the link. But
how many times has she been on there and you guys came up there while she was there?
But listen to me. That's if I was following her interpretation. My interpretation was not to give disparaging remarks or make negative comments to her.
That wasn't the truth. The truth was to not say
Okay.
anything. See, he's
Listen
trying to
to me,
change
my
it. He's
AC.
trying to
Well,
change
no.
it.
Listen what he's saying. Listen what
He
he's
has
saying.
to mute
So,
himself like
Sway.
I did.
So, Les,
Choose to
he's
put
saying that
himself
his
back in her
interpretation
place.
of it, his interpretation of it wasn't exactly like yours. Where you
Not
interpreted
listening.
it, where you interpreted it as it was just a silence, right? It was, no communication whatsoever, right? Dead zone, right? Radio silence. That's what you got from it, right, Celeste?
That was literally the words that we said
Again,
to each
my
other.
Hold on,
There's
Aries. Let
no
it get it out.
way.
Aries, let it get it out, bro. Please. You can have the floor.
My question is, how do you interpret, all right, so y'all aren't going to talk to each other. Y'all aren't going to even acknowledge each other's existence. How do you interpret that as, oh, I'm going to talk to her. I'm just not going to say anything bad to her. No, Eric, you're not. Look, stop it. AC wasn't there. Joe wasn't there, but I
Mm-hmm.
was there and I know exactly what was said. You were supposed to say nothing at all to me or about me. Not just
Well,
anything bad, nothing at all.
Let me ask y'all: is the beef really that serious? Like, you guys don't even personally know each other. Like, is the animus that serious to where you adults that have no true intimate relationships feel as though the only answer to this is just like total radio silence, instead of just saying, this just was lost in translation, it was just
mm-hmm.
personality conflict, it just didn't work, and we should be able to go as adults in our own way and not feel the need to have these extreme responses to each other. Like, there is no gray area for that. Like, there is no gray area that you two intelligent adults or 3-4 intelligent adults can find to resolve this and not make it seem like it's just unresolvable. I mean, you guys don't have kids together. You guys don't have like financial ruin together, right? Like, you guys just met in a social space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to understand. I don't know. Like, you guys are having arguments like you've been married for 20 years and you pissed on each other's couch and you came home and caught her fucking, or she came home and caught you fucking. And it's like, I'm trying to understand why you guys have so much invested in it, where it's just really a thing of translation, a thing of just, or just personalities didn't fit, right? Or agendas didn't fit.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I actually,
You
every
asking me
time
that
I
question,
tried
or
to
you
I'm
just
asking both. I'm
clarify,
asking both, bro. I'm asking both.
and this is why when we had the Truth on Rules panel, every time I tried to clarify, okay, y'all, so we're not going to say anything to each other whatsoever, they kept yelling at me and jumping down my throat, telling me to let it go. But I wanted to make sure that they understood not to talk to me at all. Now, had they not gone to the extreme of making multiple videos and having multiple panels about me, then I could be able to say, okay, you know what, these are regular normal people. We can just put it to the side. But it has to be to the point where I have to totally ignore them and I have to try to make them totally ignore me, because we can't have any type of discourse or conversation without them taking offense to the things that I said. Like, Danini literally got mad at me because I made a super chat to Reg the Bad Guy saying that China White was the baddest woman in the manosphere. She took that as an attack on her. And this YouTube thing has her ego so inflated that she feels like everything that's not what she likes is an attack on her, which is why she doesn't like Uppity Unicorn anymore, because Uppity Unicorn believes in women leveling up, which is why she doesn't like me, because I'm a social butterfly and I can talk to anybody, whatever stranger there is. Like, if it's something that she doesn't believe in, she sees it as an attack. And that's not somebody that I can even be cordial with. That's somebody I have to completely ignore.
okay.
And with Aries, he's gonna attack whoever he sees making Danini upset. Doesn't matter if it's man or woman. And in fact, he goes even harder on the women. Like, I was when somebody sent me the
I am.
link to Reg the Bad Guys live where Aries was up there talking about me and I wasn't even there. So it's like, and then I saw that somebody in the chat said something about, but that's how they do in their Viper pit.
Wait,
That's how they do.
So somebody said what?
It's off topic,
Okay,
but
yeah. So don't
basically
mention
you
it.
were up there talking about me when I wasn't there, and that's what lets me know that for some reason it's like you just can't wait to talk about me. You, Anthony, it's like you just can't wait,
Well,
and I don't think about y'all like that. I don't, and I'm sorry
can
that you have that attachment to me. Like, I know we were cool or whatever, but
I know,
it's
baby.
just not that serious to me.
I
Like,
know, baby.
if somebody asks me to explain the situation, I'll talk about you then, but I'm not gonna sit up and just, oh, Aries, the need, and I don't think about y'all like that.
Yeah, I know, baby.
All right, well, listen. I like to think.
Wait.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, my
You
brother.
gave it
The
a
floor is yours. The floor is yours, my.
No.
Well, I mean, you was putting so many babies in there. I didn't know where you was going
I
with
was really
it.
trying to shut her the fuck up, in New Orleans ways. So
Showing his maturity once again.
okay, baby. Now, this animosity is because you, first of all, you love ideology about this level of concept. I don't have an issue with. I think that the issue is with you being condescending to anyone else's form of feminism. Now, I believe that hell, it sounds like being a gold digger. But if you find, a man who can provide that life for you, baby, a husband that can provide that life for you, go ahead. And as long as it's a loving relationship, I'm happy for you. But it comes off as an ideology of being a gold digger, number one. But number two, my issue is when you then shit on anybody else's interpretation of feminism and love. That's my issue.
Well,
Hold on,
I can.
Celeste. Give me a second. So I have the same beef with her philosophy, right?
Okay.
So is there a way to debate about her philosophy and not take personal shots at her, or not create this animus that she's the devil because she feels that way, or she should just get the shots because she feels that way, and because y'all have the animus, and that it just kind of adds on and fuels the fire?
I'm going to tell you an example of somebody who we have mature conversations about this with. Bomb has beliefs that lines up closer to Celeste. I've never insulted Bomb. You want to know why? Because she's a lady who treats me with respect, and I'm going to give her that same respect. So as far as this, I've shown, Danini, I know probably will tell you that she's shown that level of maturity, that, that lack of name throwing when this constant discussion is being mentioned. But, the people involved dictate where this shit goes. I am a petty motherfucker. So I'm learning how to be better at this. But when I see certain things behind, I see connections, I'm like, no. If we had kept shit at bay on YouTube, as far as, okay, that truth shit, if she hadn't broken that truth that first time, I promise you, by this moment, I wouldn't have any feelings towards Celeste. And matter of fact, I would say, okay, I hope the best for her. But when she still has that energy, even though, yeah, she claims that it's all over on Rue's channel, even though she claims it's on Rue's channel that this shit was official, no, it wasn't. I don't
Well,
feel it was official.
I'm actually glad he brought Bomb into this, because this is where I wanted to point out the hypocrisy in their reasons for not liking me, right? So
been going
they
Bomb into
say
this. This is why I
that
don't.
yeah, wait a minute, sweetheart, I'm talking. So the
Hey,
thing
Danini, you can
is,
have the floor in 1 second. Danini, you can have the floor, baby. You can get 10 minutes and you can rock out, my love. You can say whatever you need to say, baby, uninterrupted.
so the whole point in Danini originally attacking me on Reg's panel, from what she says, she doesn't like the level of ideology. She didn't like that I was going on panels, and she accused me of showing my body, which nobody has any proof of. Talking to men on different panels. And these are the exact same things that her friend Bomb does. And I feel like Bomb does it to an even higher extent than I do, because I don't show my body on YouTube. And Baum also believes in level up and hypergamy. But the thing is, they want to attack me and my ideas and my thoughts, because they think that since I'm younger and I'm rolling by myself, that I'm a weaker target. And the funny thing about it is, like, when I brought this up, they always say, oh, well, we don't do that to Bomb. We don't do that to Bomb. Well, me and Bomb are two totally different people. you know, I guess they have more respect for Bomb because she's older and she's more mature than I am. But the thing is, I never like when we go on Reg's panel, right? I don't I don't really talk down on women who are paying all the bills and going 50-50. I only started doing that when they started attacking me and my family, saying that, you know, like they were saying like my husband doesn't exist, and they started saying I'm on food stamps. Just I mean, just saying a whole bunch of nasty stuff about me only because I believe in hypergamy and women leveling up. So when Aries mentions these attacks on women who don't think like me, no, it's only on Zanini, and it's only because it's a defense attack. It's not. I never out because me and I've always known Danini was like that. I've always known she was about 50-50. And that was no problem with me because she's her own person. I only attacked her about that after she attacked me. And they have to be honest about that. We you know, and it's like they like to ignore who threw the first stone. They like to say it didn't matter who threw the first stone. Yes, it does. It says a lot about your character who throws the first stone. Especially when when I was just minding my business, not doing anything to cause you any type of harm.
We're doing a little better. Joe, go ahead, Joe.
I think Delaney dropped off. And what happened to Aries?
They both dropped off. I don't know if they dropped off because they knew I was telling the
Well,
truth.
I don't know if I think it's connection, but they're more than welcome to come back. And I like how, you know, and I really wanted to get this out because I really want you guys to be able to get it out in a respectful manner, right? Because I think this conversation needs to be had, and it's an example for a lot of people, even if they may not take it today or they may not take haste to it today. I just think it's important that a lot of times we hear why people have the beef and we have what's going on in the back chat. And I really appreciate you coming up here. I wish Danini was here so we can further flush this out. But Joe, do you have any closing words, bro, you want to give, or anything that you heard?
Basically, this whole entire thing unfortunately happened. I think there's a lot of taking cheap shots at each other, and I mean it's across the board, and it's happening. You know, and the thing about it is it was, you know, it was basically unnecessary. You know, and the thing is, I guess there was a treaty. I'm about to say a peace treaty or a ceasefire agreement between the two sides. And of course, a lot of this I don't know because I'm not in the back chat talking about whatever. But I mean, hopefully, like I said, Celeste, you and Zanini, Rollo, and I didn't even know Rollo was even involved in this whole thing. And Aries can work this mess out because I mean, you're all good people all the way around, and you don't want to be seen on this daggone forum or in this venue as being petty like that. You know, I mean, that's just me. You know, I think we can do the adult thing and move forward with it. And best thing, like I said earlier, is to leave it be, let it alone. You know, if you see each other in passing or whatever, do whatever. But you know, there won't be any cheap shots taken at you, Celeste, if you don't do the same thing to them. And that's what's happening. Both sides are sitting there saying, well, you know, you're talking to me, talking about me in this situation. And then you turn around and do that too. You know, so. And like I said, the other day with Rude's thing, I don't know what fired him up on that drama from a couple of years ago. So that, man, I don't know what that was all about, man. The little piece I did see. But you know,
Well,
I mean,
Rue was more so talking about Aries and Danini's relationship. I think it was China White who brought up the old drama from years ago, and some other
okay,
people.
yeah. See, I didn't see the whole entire thing, so it would be bad of me or disrespectful of me to sit there and talk about it, you know, and I wasn't there really for it, you know. And that's the thing about it. Like I said, that's why I was hoping Danini and Aries and Rollo was in there too. Would come up and speak their piece on it, you know, because right now we have a piece of the story. You know, I mean, it's not my place to say yay or nay, who's better than this or who's not doing that. You know, I mean, hopefully y'all, like I said, work this mess out. If it's not meant to be worked out, then you just move on. You know, and this place is big enough for the two of you, or 3 of you, I should say. 4 of you.
Like they say in the landscaping business, it's enough grass for all of us. And we shouldn't allow, we shouldn't allow, like, now, if we came here to be petty, like if you came to this space to be petty and get off your petty gripes and, be the best you and the worst you at the same time, then, by all means, have at it, right? But I think just some of this stuff can be resolved, man. And we got to start finding ways to resolve it, man, because we got a lot of talented, smart people around. And some of the times with these conversations we have, they be really smart and really advanced. And we learn a lot of things about each other, about relationships, about what we want as a people, what we want individually. And sometimes that could be very refreshing and very entertaining and very enlightening, right? Because for me, I like to enlighten people. I like to bring the spotlight on things that people may think is in the dark. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really glad that I got a chance to, get some of it out. And I really want to give the Nini a chance to speak, without uninterrupted and get it all out and, see if we can, figure out exactly what's going on. But Celeste, do you have any last words that you want to share, baby, with the crowd before you roll out? And give all my nieces and nephews at the crib a big hug and tell them Uncle Buck said what's up from New Jersey?
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it short and simple. And this goes to everybody, not just the Nini areas. You can't anticipate how somebody reacts, nor can you control how somebody reacts when you attack them unprovoked. And that's what we're seeing. I feel like that's what we're seeing now. You just don't know what you don't know what's on people's minds. You don't know what people are capable of. You don't know how they're going to react to your attack. And the smart thing to do would to just not attack people. Just don't throw the stone. Keep the stone in your pocket and keep it for somebody who's actually causing harm to you, not just somebody that you don't like what they say and what they do. And that, I feel like that's just something that we all should keep in mind.
Word up. Word up. I can say amen to that. So, I'd like to thank my little sister, Sway Celeste, for coming through and being honest and upfront as usual and being respectful. I like to thank Aries. I like to thank my bro, Joe Dove, for coming in and bringing that sage and that wisdom to keep the temperature down. Because, see, his old bones kept the energy good. I don't know if y'all know that, but having that sage here.
Hey, I'm a proud 56 years old.
You know what I'm saying? He kept that nonsense down. All right, well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and rock out with the Nini. Yo, Celeste, thank you for coming up. Joe, thank you for coming up.
Yeah,
and I'm
no
gonna
problem.
rock with the Nini for a little bit.
All
See
right,
what
thanks
she's
for
talking
having
about.
me.
All right, yo, she back up for sure.
Oh, okay.
All right, yo. Peace.
All right, though. Yo.
Hi, Mr. Nini. How are you this afternoon? Good afternoon.
I'm fine.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I did all this, right? Because I was distressed by what GMT did to you. Like, I don't know you, and the first time we kind of bumped heads, right? But I was distressed by him trying to pull up your back shit, and it just made me be like, you know what? Let me find out what all this is about, right? Because I'm a hood dude, and I mean, so I see this kind of behavior in the hood and shit like that. But then when I see respectful people that's married with kids and jobs and careers, it just kind of bothers me when we traffic in this stuff that's just like kind of beneath us, right? Kind of petty and beneath us. And then when people try to bring up your background and people talk about you in a relationship with this person, it's like, okay, people are intimidated by her swagger and how she get down, and she can swing a mean bat and she talk shit. So now it's like they don't have no way to combat her. So now they doing all this fuck shit, and this shit is dangerous, and it's not, it's not good for our kids. It's not good for us. So my thing is, I just felt like I wanted to get a better understanding, because I was just perplexed by that, why people will pull up your background and try to demean you and all that. You know what I mean? Just because they may have lost a battle with you, or you may have said some derogatory things about them, and they feel like they don't have a comeback besides digging in your future. And I seen that the relationship between you, Aries, and Celeste was kind of, very accurate, just very rough. So I was just trying to figure out what was the catalyst behind it and pull back some of the layers of what's going on. So you have the floor.
So what she didn't tell you is that before I said what I said on Reg panel, I tried to reach out to her and talk to her one-on-one to tell her what I was feeling. I tried 3 times through Uppity Unicorn. Uppity Unicorn confirmed that she talked to Celeste about it. Celeste decided she didn't care. She was going to do what she wanted to do. That's fine. But when I give my opinion of how you're moving around, that's just what I did. If she took offense to it, I've already apologized to her for it. And we agreed then to squash it. But every time I came around, she was throwing slick shots. Now, yes, I do have a big mouth, but that comes along with having that big mouth is me listening very well. So, yeah, she can sound sweet and quiet, but at the end of the day, she's still throwing shots. So that's what always brings me back up to saying some shit about her. And I don't say it behind her back. I don't talk about her behind her back. I wait until she throws shots, and then I start getting on her ass. And we have so-called squashed the beef too many times for her to always turn around and say some dumb shit. So there is no squashing the beef because it's always her that does the attacking. Bottom line. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. So when you say that's her that does the attacking, right? She takes the shots. Now, I do say that she does take shots. She's a counterpuncher, right? But I think that's just like a defense mechanism when she's going, because you guys are a formidable opponent. Like you're not weak. Like you're not like no punk or no chump or nothing.
But still, if no one is attacking you and we're all on a panel having a conversation, then have that conversation. You don't have to throw digs, because I'm listening to her talk on your panel, and whether she know it or not, she's throwing digs at Bomb, and I don't fucking appreciate it.
Okay.
So she don't see how she come off either.
I think she does. I think that she looks at it as like, you guys are tough, and like my little shots shouldn't bother you as much shots as you take. But I understand, like, I understand what you're saying. Like if it's a cordial if it's a cordial platform and nobody's taking shots, then don't come in taking shots, because and then don't play victim. I agree with you on that. But I just think the residuals, the residue, right, of you guys' beef sometimes spill into the panels, and sometimes she picks up little pebbles and throw them, right, thinking that was somehow, counter there being more than one person on your team on the panel, right? Like, I'm not making excuses for it. I don't think the behavior is necessary, but I do believe that sometimes it's just a reflexive, action based on the residue of you guys' overall beef. But I do now. My thing is, right, I want to go back to something. Go ahead. You got it.
Just because she throwing pebbles, don't excuse it. Period. Because you can throw a pebble at somebody and somebody could pick up a whole goddamn boulder and knock your ass out with it.
Right.
The point is, you need to fucking stop. And if you agree to stop more than once, then fucking stop.
I agree with that. And that's the thing, right? To understand, like, to continuously take the shots. You can't take the shots and then play victim, right? But my thing is, I'm just trying to understand why the shots are always being taken, and not just my personal opinion. I feel like it's just residue that's just there, and it's just a way to kind of, feel, feel like, okay, y'all, it's 3 of y'all, it's 1 of me, but I'm gonna still talk my shit, right? It's almost like I'm gonna still talk my shit, but I just want to go. Right. And I agree with you on that. That's why I want to kind of go back to something that you said, like your initial foray into dealing with her. And for me, I felt like what you said was a come up, right? But sometimes young people don't translate what us Generation Xers say about things. They don't translate it as a come up, right? They translate it as, you in my business, you trying to tell me what to do. And basically, if I'm right, in what you were saying, you were basically saying, if you got kids, baby, you don't need to be in all these places showing your face, right? If you got a family, you got all these responsibilities, and you everywhere, right? That's not a good look. Am I correct in my assessment?
Yeah. If you saying you got 4 kids, then no, you shouldn't be late night on a panel, because that leaves people to believe, okay, she's just a liar, and the men in the area is gonna treat you as you're a fucking liar, and they're gonna use you. Because if you got 4 kids and you up all night on panels, you're saying your husband at work, who the fuck watching your kids during the day while you sleep?
Now, our generation, if we get that from cousins, aunts, uncles, we taking that as a come up, right? We taking that as a damn. My mom just put me on blast about whether or not I'm taking care of the kids or not, right? In our generation, right? For the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, her generation,
Yep.
she took that as you jealous of me, you know, it's ageism, things of that nature. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that that's maybe how she's seen what you said?
Either, it doesn't matter how she see it to me. The point is, it wouldn't have made it this far if she would have at least contacted me after the 3 times I tried to reach out to her behind the scenes. She took it as she didn't fucking care. So if you're gonna act like you don't care behind the scenes, then have that same fucking energy on the scene.
Do you think that she cares, but she just doesn't know how to care? Like, cause like things like this comes with experience, right? Like when you're dealing with situations like this, it comes with experience, right? So do you think she just doesn't have the ability to care and be responsible and have a responsible reaction to you guys, or she don't give a fuck?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I feel like she don't give a fuck, because this is not the only sector that Celeste has been in. Celeste has been ran out of other sectors. So this is something she do. She likes to play the fucking victim, and she feel like she can use the men in this area. Like she up here saying that I don't like the divested women and all this other stuff. That's bullshit. Straight up.
If she's gonna be in a chat,
I've been by Crystal and Karazin several fucking times.
if she's
I
gonna
don't
be
have
in
to
a
agree
chat,
with you to talk to you as a
she needs to come up.
Nah, I want y'all up. I don't want her up. I you know. Nah, listen, bro. I mean, this is the thing, Aries. I understand what you say. I think she got a lot out. I just kind of want to hear Danini uninterrupted, and like if you can co-sign or just reference some of the things Danini talk about, that's cool. Like I just, because what spurred me to do this show wasn't necessarily Celeste, as it was much as the shots I see people taking at Danini, and I just feel like people just go too fucking far, and I don't like, are they doing it because they rocking with her, or so just your issue was just at the forefront, so I'm just trying to peel back the layers. So this is not necessarily me trying to rehash their whole beef, but just try to understand how things get lost in translation and how people take shots, or people try to dig in against people that's not punks like Danini, right? That's willing to show you up front that she, you know, she's straight no chaser, right? So when they can't meet her fire with fire, they do fuck shit. Where a person like Celeste feel like she's meeting her fire with fire. So my thing is, I feel like this thing is really not that much of an issue, and that could be solved. But that other shit that people be doing, I don't get it. So when I just want to talk to Danini so that I can get a better understanding of her and why people think they gotta pull like they howitzer every time they deal with her. That's all.
But see, that's my biggest issue. I didn't go on talking about her looks. I didn't go on talking about any of her personal business.
Go back downstairs. You should be in class.
I simply said what I seen and how she was moving, and that was it. She got offended and started going on my looks. The same exact thing that she said she can't stand about Jessica X, she's doing to me. Bruh, I don't fucking get it. She's contradicting. She did all that shit to try to get at me. And that's just that.
Well, I mean, that's another,
and trying to be the victim. That's the part I don't get.
When I have the one-on-one with her, because I did ask her about her ambitions, right, in this space, right, and to like correlate it with what you're saying about being, you know, getting kicked out of other spaces, and then having that same fervor and vitriol that you see from a Jessica X, and I'm trying to understand, like, is she trying to carve out a lane there where she has this helicopter view of black women like yourself, right? Like everyday black women who work hard, who are mothers, who are older, and who know that love and relationships ain't based on whether or not, this, that, and third, because plenty of niggas gonna choose up on you. You know what I mean? Plenty, right? Plenty. We both know it. Plenty of niggas gonna choose up on you. And it ain't gonna be based on whether some shit they got in their pocket or not, right? So my thing is the beef between you, her getting her chops together to have that kind of critique of women like yourself, seeing that she's not there, right? She's not there. That's not what she wants. So she sees women as victims or weak or whatever. And I think like that battle to say, well, you're beneath me. And then you're saying, well, I'm not beneath you. What you need to do is listen to me, because that pie in the sky shit you chasing ain't really real. Is that kind of the context of what's going on, if you think?
No, because who she chasing is her business. Because to be honest with you, if she's married with all these kids, why is she chasing anybody?
I mean, because in that world, monkey leveling up. Think about it, leveling up, right? So you may be at one position now. So if you bump into something or you see somebody that's making moves, and you can maneuver yourself to make that move,
And see, and that right there,
and I understand.
And that right there is my issue, because if you're on here trying to teach women how to be women,
I want the people to see the hood. Put it down. Go downstairs. You showing the people the hood. We giving them impression we live somewhere else. Go, boy. My bad.
If she's trying to be a content creator and she's trying to show women that you can level up, they're trying to start this new movement, what are you really teaching women, or even young girls at this point trying to get out in the world? What are you teaching them? That it's okay to not have feelings for the person you with, as long as they buying you shit that you want, but as soon as you find somebody else that can do better and give you more money, leave the person you with? That's what you're teaching them? Then that's what's wrong with these men. They don't trust black women because of that reason. That's all it comes down to.
Right, and that's where I'm getting to, where the true essence of what's going on is people really coming at you because you exposing them for the frauds and the bullshit they are, and now they're trying to do the same thing to you. Like they're trying to find kinks in your armor.
Yes, and that's what I said. I said that last night, that they are trying to discredit me. But I answered Grandmaster Troll. The question he asked was, how can I see it? Because that situation taught me to see it.
Living off experience.
Look past the exterior.
Living off experience.
Exactly. So they can try to discredit me all they want. I told her 3 years ago people did this shit. And when I say every fucking day, they went through it every fucking day. It didn't move me. It didn't move me then, and it's damn sure not gonna move me now, because everybody in this space that knows me already know the story.
Right. And see, me, I think a story like that, when it comes to tragedies like that, I think that those things should be off the table, because we don't know. We're not there. And for us to, try to find little things and be investigative reporters and things of that nature, it just kind of dilutes the information. So when it gets back to us, a lot of things are lost in translation, and we don't have the context of what really happened. And all we know is somebody's trying to paint you in a bad light and make you the bad guy. Now, as far as Celeste is concerned, I really do think that it's like she was a shooting star, and you guys wanted to bring her up under y'all wing and kind of mold her. Not you per se, but Aries admitted it. Aries admitted it, that he recruited her. Like when he was on here earlier, he admitted that he wanted to bring her up under the team and then kind of integrate her into y'all larger team. And her personality and her track record didn't necessarily fit, right? So with her bringing a free agent like that, she's not gonna adhere to a lot of things that groups want, because she, to be a part of the group. So I think that the recruiting process went wrong, and then he didn't come and kick it with y'all, and then you like, well, it is what it is, and then you had your critique of her, and it just went sideways.
No, that's not what it was. For one, I don't know what he was trying to recruit her for, but it damn sure wasn't to be around me because Celeste and Uppity came at me. I never went out looking for them, talking to them, because I knew we didn't share the same ideas. They came to me. That's first and foremost. They're the ones who was trying to tell me, oh, we can teach you how to do weave in your hair, how to do your makeup. And I told them then, look, I do the slumber party with y'all, but I don't wear weave in my head. I don't put makeup on my face. That's just not me. I'm 38 years old.
Well,
if
you
I
don't
didn't
need
do it
to.
then, I'm damn sure not gonna do it
Yeah,
now.
you don't, but you don't need to. Right, you don't need
Exactly.
to. You don't need to do that shit. You don't need to do none of that shit.
Exactly. So they came at me trying to put me under their wings. No, I'd have been through a whole lot more than she can ever fucking
So they
do.
thought they was gonna come and make Auntie up, right? And doll up Auntie.
Make me up and tell me I need to fucking level up. No,
Yeah,
it don't work like that.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
level me
So
up.
so it was actually a reverse recruit. They was trying to recruit Auntie to rock with them. Oh, okay.
Yes.
They was trying to make Auntie up. Okay, it makes sense now. It makes sense now. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
So it was more of me not going for their bullshit.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Now, quick question before I close this out, because you see I gotta attend to homeboy because he is really driving me crazy right now. I'm coming, boy. Man. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel though when people do that? When people put your personal business out there or come at your marriage or, you know, the shit with trying to insinuate that you're, how do you feel about all that? Like, how do you personally feel? Do you feel like it was a mistake coming in this shit, or you so strong in your spot that fuck that shit?
I mean, I had to be strong in my spot. At first, when it first happened, like years ago, I was kind of like, okay, what do I do? Because they wouldn't have known the story, first of all, if I wouldn't have told the story. I told the story without names and stuff like that. So they wouldn't have known the story. So I guess when people started using it to attack me, yeah, I felt bad at first. But when I heard what they were saying, it's like, you know what? They weren't even around. So I kind of like grew to accept the criticism. I mean, in this space, I had to, I guess, grow tough skin then when it happened. And even now, I got to have tougher skin because, to be honest, the detective told me that this would happen as the years go on, that people are going to blame you no matter what. It's how you deal with it after.
Right, because we're so used to it's synonymous, right? With the mate is usually one who do it, so it's easy for us to just be lazy and attach it and not really let the chips fall where they may or let the scene play out. It's just a lazy way of saying, well, you did it. You know what I'm saying? Because we all think we like junior private investigators and shit till the truth come out and the egg is on our face.
Right.
She made a comment. So Celeste made a comment. She was like, you attacked her marriage, so karmatic energy leaves you open for people to attack your marriage. Do you think, like, because I watched some of your videos, do you think some of the vitriol that you express towards others, do you think sometimes you get that back in your own personal life? Like the karma from that?
I'm going to say this. I attacked Celeste's marriage because she constantly attacked my husband. See, that's the part she's not. She gonna say, oh, I was joking with Warren. No, ma'am. Y'all would sit in my chat and constantly attack my husband. So it's not about I attacked her marriage. No, I attacked your marriage after you constantly attacked my husband. So no, boo, it is karma to you, not to me. See, they always forget what the hell they do first. Always forget. Or they like to say, oh, I was just joking. It was just funny. Ha ha. No.
Well, experience will teach you when you tell a joke, there's some truth in it.
Exactly. So yeah, I took notes every time y'all sat down and attacked him. Yeah, I took notes. But at some point it was like, you know what? Enough is enough.
Now she's saying that a lot of times her and Warren playful banter was just that, playful banter. Now I was in the chat that time when y'all had the conversation, and Warren kind of said, well, it's not playful banter. Like I can't say yes whether or not it is. Because I'm gonna be honest with you now. I'm gonna be totally transparent and honest. I have no dog in this fight. I have seen sometimes where her and Warren kind of said little jokes to each other. Now they didn't go, you know what I mean? It was little pop shots, but you know, me not being in either camp or having a dog in the fight, I felt like it wasn't my place to say it at that moment. But now that I have you present, I can say that me personally, I've witnessed her and Warren having little playful banter. Now, whether it died because of the situation got a little more messy,
and
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
why.
Okay.
And that's why, because when they first was doing it, Warren wouldn't say anything back to her or Uppity. He would only put laughing emojis after they said something, but he wouldn't say anything back until I said something to him. Like, why are you letting them do this? It's coming off as if you like that bullshit, and it's pissing me off. That's
okay.
See,
and I thought that too. I was like, well, is she comfortable with her man, you know, chopping it up with women in the chat? And you know what I'm saying? Like,
if he's just talking to him, that's fine. But the shit that Uppity and Celeste was doing, it was talking about his looks. They was talking about his dick. They was talking about all that. At some point, it's like, you know what? You need to shut this shit down and get back at these bitches, because I'm tired of it. Because if I say something to them, it's going to look like I'm attacking them because they saying something to you. So you need to go ahead and check them on it.
See, and for me, I feel as though, right, what happens with situations like that, like where a strong woman like you gonna come in and intercede, where we have some aspects where no one intercedes, right? And I feel like that's the problem, where it's so ambiguous, where people are allowed to do that a person like Uppity and Celeste, who are kind of like YouTube names and personalities in these chats, more or less than content creators, but more like personalities, right? Where you have content creators like a O'Shea and all them, and then you have personalities. You know what I mean? Like a Celeste, Uppity Unicorn, China White, people like that, right? And I think what's happening is that the personalities, right, or they don't understand the boundaries, right? Because the personalities don't have boundaries. That's why they everywhere, right? Because no one's limiting them. They don't have a channel where they have to adhere to a certain format that they're doing. So they're everywhere. And I think that they don't understand the boundaries. So when they cross the boundaries and people like you say, yo, rein that in, they kind of take it the wrong way. I think a lot of this is just like lost in translation. Am I in the ballpark for you?
I don't think it's lost in translation. I think it has a lot to do with the age. Because people in my generation understands respect and boundaries. People in their generation don't.
So you don't think that's a level of loss in translation? Because it's a cultural translation. Like our Generation X's, we're a culture. Like our older brothers and sisters and our family taught us boundaries. We were latchkey kids, so we kind of was independent. We kind of had to pay attention to our surroundings, where these kids don't necessarily have that. So our understanding of boundaries and how that's important kind of get lost in our communication with them. Do you understand it from that point of view?
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay. See, you're a very smart woman, Danini. I like talking to you. This was very informative, and you get to learn a lot about people. Like because people will have you think that people are a certain way, right? Like if I didn't have this interview with you, I think I would carry like, ooh, Danini vicious, but she bites your motherfucking head off. And I'm sure you are that, but you're also a person who can articulate yourself. You know what I mean? Talk about your life. Be candid about yourself, which is really important. And I think a lot of times that's some grown woman shit, right? Like that's the epitome of some grown woman shit. And we're not perfect, so we're gonna have our flaws. You're gonna beef with a motherfucker. You're gonna curse a motherfucker out. But at the end of the day, the grown woman shit is the preceding idea of who you is. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yo, thank you for coming up. Thank you for not killing anybody. Thank you for not stabbing me. I appreciate it. You're a beautiful sister. So don't let nobody tell you that you need to put on no weave, no makeup, no nothing. The smile is pretty. The teeth is white. The hair is bouncing. So I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. So you have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you for coming through and making my show is wonderful. And you welcome anytime, my sister.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye.
Yo, man, I'd like to thank everybody. This was wonderful, man. Warren, you better hold on to the Nini damn Mike, nigga. I'm coming to Louisiana, but I like them with glasses, and I love plain Janes. I swear to God, if I could have a team of plain Janes, I would. A team, yeah, Triple OG. Yeah, she's very intelligent, plain Jane. That hair bouncing, she got that blue magic in it. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, I like to thank everybody for coming through. We did a long stream today. I went 3 hours and 50 minutes. My kids gonna kill me. Everybody gonna kill me. I'd definitely like to thank my little baby sister Celeste for coming through. I love you, little sis. I think you're highly intelligent. I love your counterpunching. I just wish you understand that all wars and all battles ain't necessary. And sometimes us Generation Xers, we don't always have the words to teach you guys. But when we give y'all a pull up, it's a pull up, right? It ain't to knock you. It ain't to be in your life. It's just saying, I remember when I was that age and I was that excited, and experience can lead you in a certain way. So if you can, just find some commonality and just say peace. You know what I mean? Thank you, Miss Fax. Okay, thank you, baby. I'm glad you figured it out. But again, I like to thank Aries. I like to thank Joe Dub. I like to thank Renaissance Man, Psychopathia for the first hour of the show and that great conversation we had over there. I see my big ass hands, man. My hands so big. I'm gonna jam the camera. I'm sorry, I got big hands, y'all, so I'm banging on the damn table. So yo, I like to thank everybody. Y'all made today's show wonderful. I'm gonna definitely listen to the playback. And Denini, thank you for gracing us with your beautiful presence and your beautiful soul. Aries, you my brother. You welcome over here anytime. If you want to have a one-on-one to express yourself, just hit me on the email, bro, and we can do this any day. So yo, this your boy AC Star. I want y'all to be loving, caring. I want y'all to go in peace, and I want y'all to stay safe. I'm out.